I guess that's all tea, all shade, perspective plans. Because what you mean we about to be in here for 5 hours? Hey y'all, welcome into another episode of Our Sisters Keeper, the live Tyler Perry Sister unofficial after show, child. And even though we are on hiatus in between seasons 8 and 9, we are still coming to you guys every single week with new deep dive conversations on the characters, the storylines, and the entire Sisters universe. And tonight's we are going to be talking about our faves. Karen and Aaron building a future together. But before we jump into that, let's welcome in our good sis, the lovely Allie Nick. Hey, Allie. She always in the nick of time, y'all. And I can vouch for that. Okay? 100%. Allie, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this conversation and nervous. And it's so crazy that I feel like I'm more excited about these like hiatus episodes than I have been for the live after the episode. I know that seems weird, but yeah. How you feeling tonight? Hmm. Oh wait, Allie muted? Y'all say Allie's muted? Give me a test, Allie. Hold on. Oh, y'all was right. Okay, Allie, you gotta let him know that you give it to him when you give it to him. If
It's your
Erica's
girl
not gonna
Allie
do
Nick.
nothing, she's gonna have a technical difficulty. We need a bigger budget so I can get a producer in here. So I ain't gotta do this no more.
That
Sorry.
is hilarious. Pretend y'all just gonna pretend like y'all ain't hear it. You didn't hear it, but pretend like you didn't see it.
This is why the live will
This
be
your
five
girl Allie
hours.
Nick.
Go ahead. I'm
This your
sorry.
girl, this your girl Allie Nick. Giving it to you when I give it to you, but always in the nick of time.
Child. And again, I vouch for the nick of time because she be coming in the nick of time for me, I swear. Okay? Yeah,
Nick
she's
of
back.
time.
I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to talk about Aaron and Karen. We're going to try to get out before 5 hours. But we've been really enjoying these like hiatus episodes. Like what she was saying was like ditto to me saying, I've been enjoying these episodes more than the live after the episodes. How y'all feel about the most recent content that we've been doing for Our Sisters Keeper? Just let us know in the chat. Just a little quick one
Yeah.
too. Like how are we alone in this? How y'all feeling? Ellie, how are you feeling tonight while they tell us what they think?
I'm feeling great tonight. We're talking about my two favorite people in this entire Sisters universe. And not only my favorite characters, but honestly, two of my favorite talents
Mm,
in general, whether, on Sisters or not. I really am grateful that we do get an opportunity to one to highlight Aaron and Karen, but to also give flowers to Ebony and Kevin along the way, along this journey that we have been following for the past 5 years. So I am excited to talk about them. They always make me feel good talking about them, whether we in the mountain high or the valley low or somewhere in between. They always give it, and I'm just excited to be able to talk about them with you and our family tonight.
same. Like y'all, we and Allie don't actually like talk about what we're gonna talk about on the show too much beforehand. Like the most that we do right now because these things are planned out by theme. So like we'll come up with an outline and like Allie did a great job of like pulling specific scenes that she want to pull to or jump to in tonight's episode or in tonight's like episode of our podcast. And y'all, I'm going through to make sure I got the media and make sure the media is loaded up. And I'm rewatching these scenes and I'm about to cry because Aaron is the man we all deserve. Like, my God, he is so good. And I'm not. That's why I'm not ready for this conversation, but I'm so ready for it because I could probably speak for hours about it. When I was going back and pulling these scenes, Ellie, I for a second like what popped to my mind was like, is Aaron Carter Tyler Perry's best writing work?
You know, because I have not watched a lot of Tyler Perry TV shows that he's written, I'm very unfamiliar with the character, so I will have to rely on you and the family in the chat tonight, because I really don't know. The only person, in my opinion, that the only two other characters that I would say that I think that what dang he didn't write them, so ooh, can't say that.
Wait, who were they?
The OG. I don't watch the new seasons of House of Pain, but the OG, CJ and
Ah, Janine.
CJ, Janine, they are my favorite.
Mm,
Before Karen and Aaron, Janine and CJ were my
mm.
favorite characters that Tyler, well, created, but he didn't write them. So that's why I said, oh,
Oh,
he
okay,
didn't write
okay.
them.
They were
The
written
in the
well
OG,
early
they
on.
were yeah.
I
So
used
like
to
I
watch
don't
House
know
of
what's
Pain
going on
back in the
now.
day. They were well
Okay,
written,
yeah,
baby.
I
Janine
love
had
them.
me worried.
I was hooked. Like no lie, they were so good. I remember I bought all the old House of Pain DVDs years ago, and I literally studied Demetria McKinney and Alan Payne because I felt that their chemistry is so on point. If I didn't
Mm,
know them, I really would think they were together in real life because they did the very small things that couples do when you're looking at each other's eyes and you may touch them unexpectedly, or
mm-hmm.
they did those things. So I just like studied them, and that's how I learned to write that relationship dynamics from studying
Mm-hmm.
those characters. But I will say, based on what I've seen, he might be the best written.
Child. Tyler did Greenleaf. Is that right?
Greenleaf.
Is the Greenleaf Tyler,
It,
y'all? I haven't watched that.
I
I'm gonna
don't.
go watch that because that's making its rounds on TikTok right now, and people are talking about that. And I'm like, oh, I have never watched it. They said that it was really good. It was unexpected, so I need to go and check that out. But now I'm on a
He
hunt to
didn't
figure
write
out
Greenleaf.
who is the best written character that Tyler Perry has ever written in his television universe. Because when we get to the films, it's a little bit different. But yes, okay. Y'all, tonight, again, we are breaking down Karen and Aaron and them moving forward and building a future together. We are celebrating the healthiest relationship within the Sistas universe.
Mhm.
And in a sea of just crazy toxic relationships, they to me shine like a beacon of light, a lighthouse, if you will. Um, and what makes it even sweeter, I think, is how imperfect their journey into coupledom has been. That just sets the precedent of like, nobody is asking you to be perfect to be healthy. Nobody is asking you to be perfect to be able to progress into a place of wholeness. You literally do not have to be perfect, but you have to you have to be present, and you have to be moving with positive intentions, which we can't necessarily say for all of the couples. But tonight ain't about all the couples. It's about Karen and it's about Aaron. First up, Ellie, let's get into their timeline of their relationship. And what do you think? What are your thoughts about their initial meeting? I know you sent me a photo earlier, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot
Y'all,
about that."
I was so mad. Okay, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Now we've discussed several times on our Sisters Keeper about the initial, excuse me, meeting of Karen and Aaron, and we both have some strong feelings about that initial meeting. However, I knew from that episode, I'm like, this is the man that Karen is going to spend her forever with, but I did not know the journey that it would take to get there. And y'all, I sent Erica this picture, and I was so mad because I talked about it on Our Sisters Keeper. And there was a rose that Aaron put in her car after he got out, and the card read, "I'm sorry you're having a bad night. Let me take you out for coffee and make it better." He left his name and he was like, "Call me," and he left his number. And I was so mad that they didn't focus on that, because for one, that let me know that even in this initial meeting, Karen cussed him the hell out, let him know where she stood. And even before he went into the car, he already made up in his mind that he was going to be intentional with this woman. And I'm like, y'all should have
Mm,
put more emphasis on that. That was like the
mm-hmm.
initiation of, he is intentional. He wants to be present. And for whatever reason, this woman, something about her stuck out to him in a
Yeah.
real way.
Yep.
And I was so mad, y'all, because it's not really clear. Like you can't see what he wrote, and the only reason I know what it says on that note is because I blew it up. My TV was huge at the time, and I had to zoom in, and I was able to see it clearly. But I was trying to get that picture to y'all, but you really can't see what it says. But
Child.
I was here for the initial. I loved it. One of my
you
favorite
were,
moments. One of my
you
favorite
were,
moments.
you were totally here for it. But baby, I already done told y'all, Erica gets triggered when you get to being weird with your blackness and all of that. Y'all, that's the photo. That's the rose. Aaron, he was coming with it. He had a little bit of game. But
Yeah.
again, I was just thrown off a little bit. I was a little bit shook. The foundation was shaking a little bit when you get to talking about that's why you get with a white woman. Then go ahead then. Be with that white woman. The same way that Calvin went and ran across the damn country wherever the hell he went with his white woman. Yeah, go ahead with y'all white women. Let me know how it turned out. Or don't, you know?
Oh my God.
But this moment is after April, after she reads for Phil, completely cleans his clock. And then they have their exchange in the car with the ice cream, both of them. Oh, woe is me about their relationship. It's not funny, but it's
Yes.
kind of funny because they were just meeting each other where they were, and it just so happened they were at a very similar place with so different circumstances, but at a very similar place. Um, and that's interesting. It's so cool that I think that you and I both have two different reactions to his like introduction into their initial meeting. Um, Aside from Aaron's untoward comment about white women,
Hmm.
he seemed like a really great catch pretty much early on. Um, and the earliest obstacles of the relationship just turned out to be, well, both of their exes, but I would argue that Zach was probably a bigger obstacle than what's the name, Farron Fallen.
Fun.
Fawn, fricassee, that crazy hoe.
Yeah.
That was definitely early obstacles for them. Would you agree that Zach was a bigger obstacle than Fawn?
Yeah, I agree that Zach was a bigger obstacle than Fawn because Zach was still a very much so emotional presence and an
Mm-hmm.
emotional bond for Karen. And, Aaron had already made up in his mind that Fawn did something that has already discredited her from continuing to be my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm done with it. So emotionally, he was done. Like, I need to get a divorce. I need to, like, no, she did the unthinkable. She did something that I could forgive, but it severs the
Yeah.
relationship. And he stood on business with that from the very beginning when it came to Fawn. But Karen, she couldn't understand that. So even when he was like, "Nah, I'm done," and she was like, "How long you been married?" And he was
Yeah.
like, 15 years, and you just gonna leave? Like, she couldn't even
Yes.
fathom the thought, which was sad
Mm-hmm.
because he got cheated on once, even though it wasn't a elongated affair. She was getting cheated on multiple times and still didn't have the wherewithal within her to make a definitive decision about ending things with Zach.
Yeah.
She wanted to, but it was difficult for her to do. And so he was definitely a far greater obstacle, than Fawn was. Fawn was trying to make it like, girl, I still want my man. Like in that sense of the word.
Yeah.
But for Karen, that emotional struggle, that she had with really
Yeah.
ridding herself of Zach was definitely a thing.
And I asked that question only because I don't want to like make light of the physical conflict that Fawn created. Like the tie emotionally and mentally for Aaron was already severed when she crossed that boundary. However, she created physical conflict in the popping up on Karen at her salon multiple times, and then ultimately her family attacking Karen so much so that she has to wind up putting a couple shots in them.
Yeah.
And the taking of her own life in Karen's salon right in front of Karen. All of that is definitely an obstacle. However, Zach is a bigger obstacle for them as it pertains to their relationship because he has such a hold on Karen's heart and her head at the very
Yeah.
pivotal moments when they were first starting in their
Yeah.
relationship. So,
That is true.
are like you pulled out a couple of scenes that I thought were really great,
Yeah.
and they're like tear jerkers for me because I'm just like, oh, he's such a good man.
Oh.
But like, let's go back and like look at some of um the scenes that really help exemplify, like, yeah, Zach was definitely an obstacle.
Oh Lord.
Hate that for Karen. But girl, hold on, what's going on? Okay. Child. This one, Ellie. Woo.
Ooh, ooh.
When I got to this one, girl, I said, not Ellie taking me there.
We can't keep doing this.
Tell me about it.
Like, I'm sorry, you sorry. Like,
Okay, I don't want to get copywritten. And I also cannot hear. Let me figure out how I can. Um, I don't know if that's going to make anything echo, but hold on, y'all. Bear with us now. Bear with us, child. We working within the parameters we got.
Yeah, y'all, we gotta be careful.
Okay, YouTube, do not be playing no games with us. But Ellie, you want to describe what's happening in this scene while I?
Oh, absolutely. So
Not the
with this scene here,
absolutely.
this scene was so interesting because Zach comes over and it's almost, he wants to get Karen back. He feels like, what am I not doing to prove to you that I want you? Like, I gave you all my checks. Like, that's all I can do. Strike one. You didn't give her all of your checks. You put three measly checks on the
Ooh,
mirror and thought you did something. That's
ooh,
not giving Karen all your checks. So you're already coming into the situation being deceitful because that's not what you did.
ooh.
Two, Karen is this scene was so important because I remember the night that this episode aired because Twitter was giving Ebony and Karen her flowers because it was in this moment that Karen was
Mm,
describing what she needed, what she wanted, and what she desired out of a partner. And she was just putting everything out, just out there where there is no question, there is no misunderstanding. These are the things that I desire. And after she got done telling the man who said or who claims I want to be with you, these are the things that I want in a man, Zach, he turns to her and says, good luck finding him.
baby. All right, let me play it.
Baby,
we gotta do better.
baby. I would have told
We
him with the
do.
quickness to get the hell out of my house.
Yes, we do.
Because what you mean?
Okay.
Cause what do you mean? It's the stress.
But the kicker was the most beautiful thing that Karen said in that moment was after Zach said, good luck finding him, baby girl said, I have.
Ooh,
You can take me to the king now.
take me straight to the
You
king.
can take me to the king
Take me
now.
to the
Because in
king.
this moment, it was such a
Really?
pivotal moment, I believe, with Karen.
Like, I'm
And I
not.
don't believe she did it to be hurtful towards Zach.
What
I don't
I'm doing
believe that
is
she
what's
did
wrong
it
with
to
us.
be
It's not
um
with what I want.
obnoxious. I believe she did it because that's really how she felt.
Yeah.
Everything that I want, I have found it in this man. That's not to say that I don't love Zach. He's still not in my heart, but you do not represent the things that I want. And I believe this is when, even though her and Aaron got closer after this,
I'm talking about my needs.
Zach was still there.
Mm-hmm.
What am I not
So I
giving you, Karen?
wonder if, like, in retrospect, right? If, like, watching this back, I was so proud of Karen in this moment as well because I think that she just so beautifully articulated what so many women are feeling, but specifically what she feels. Um, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was also kind of like devoid of blame, which can be very hard, right? Like you can have a very strong reaction to your ex and like what you feel like they did to you, but when you're trying to have a productive conversation to try to meet people where they're at, you kind of have to remove the blame language just so that you can state the facts. And this is what she did. And again, in retrospect, I'm wondering how much of this was the proclamation of like we should just be done because this isn't working for me, versus how much of this was her communicating the new standard that has arrived in the game and basically outlining if he wants to come, he's going to have to come harder and come correct in these ways. Because it also feels like the tone that when this conversation happens, that she's never had a conversation with him like this before.
Yeah, and it's so interesting you say that because I feel like it's a mixture of all of it. Everything that you just stated, I feel like it was a mixture of, hey, this is brand new, and we've never had this conversation, but because something new has entered the chat, and he has caused my communication skills
I need
to
a
go
man
up
that's
a notch.
gonna hold me through the night,
for you
even
to
after
know this.
it's
Almost like
I need a man to
either
make
you gonna
love
step
to
up
my
your game or
mind.
you gonna fall the
Zach,
hell off.
not
But
just
I
my
have
body.
been introduced to something that one, I probably didn't even know I desired, and two, didn't even know I can have. But he's here now.
Yep.
I do still love you because even in that moment, after she expresses what she
I gotta
expresses,
tell how to do
Zach
it.
asked her, are we gonna make it? And she never answers the question. So it's almost
Good luck
like
finding him.
we probably won't, but I don't want to admit that right now.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know, behind door number 2, he's presented a good game, but I don't know if I can fully trust that yet.
Yeah.
So I don't want to close the door on you either, even though you ain't, what I'm saying, you're not.
You ain't
rising to the
coming nowhere
occasion.
near where this is
Nowhere
at.
near. No.
I fear you are just not there, brother.
He looks at me when he talks to me.
You're not there, Zachary. You're not there. Y'all, we're just trying to give y'all additional media, and your girl is trying to go back and forth. Hold on. We gonna get it together. It's a lot. We pulling from a lot of things. We trying to make sure that these are deep dives.
A lot, y'all. Yeah.
But this, Allie, for this to be at the top of your list, when I went to it, I was like, oh yeah, because this is like when you're 8 episodes. I mean, not 8 episodes. When you're 8 seasons in, you can lose a lot in the periphery, right? Like you can definitely like forget certain things or like basically be summing things up as we move from season to season. As the audience, we ain't gonna retain every little detail. And the more distance that we got from like seasons 1 through 4, I think that it kind of like collapsed on itself and it shrinks the weight of like the ghost of Zachary past and how that actually impacted Karen as a character, but also the romantic relationship between Karen and Aaron. So like going back and seeing these scenes, you really get a strong understanding of like when Karen and Aaron started, there was 3 people in that damn relationship, which to me just gives Aaron just even more credit. And I just give this man so much respect for his consistency and how he was able to handle that circumstance with this woman who captured his heart almost immediately.
Oh, girl, you said a mouthful there because, honey, and it was so interesting because maybe like episode
Make it, Karen.
18 or 19 of season 8, I just started going back watching Karen and Aaron scenes. And I'm like, I got a good memory of the show. Like I retain a lot, but it was like some of the small details that I forgot that they spoke, to one another.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, when you go back, even when Karen was going through before she found out she was pregnant, the back and forth with Zach and wanting him back, but don't want him back. And it was a lot of confusion, emotional confusion going on. And he just was still a present. There were, we got clips, y'all. I mean, there were moments that Aaron, like, hey.
He like, God damn it.
Hey. Like, come
girl,
on now.
when he does
you know
this,
what I'm saying? We got those moments too, because everybody want to perceive, well, he's perfect. Now Aaron was like, hey,
girl,
I'm about to reach my caps.
There's a scene where he's laying on the couch like this. I said, Aaron is so stressed. I said, Karen, give this nigga a break, please. He like, Karen.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments he is pinching the bridge of his nose. He just like, how much longer, Lord? How much longer?
How much I gotta take? I love you, girl. Like, golly. But
how much I got to take?
He deserves all the flowers in the world. He really
He
does.
really does. And yes, y'all, we are definitely, again, this is a video about Aaron and Karen, but we cannot really talk about them building the future without starting with their very, very important past and how their past was really, really built. You still want to go to episode 2? Is that I think this is what you were talking about just now. Oh no, this is actually just a really good, oh brother. Allie, you're gonna have me crying on this damn live.
Oh no, cry.
Okay, we're going to episode 2. Episode 2, no, sorry, season 2, episode, what is this? 18 from your list. Just so you know, because I can't play the audio for you here. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know how to patch it in.
Yeah. I just wait till I see them stop talking. I know to talk at that time.
Girl, okay. All right, Erica. And I'm going from damn memory. It's so good.
Something that's really bad. You may not actually be rescuing them. They got to be able to figure that out and make that decision on their own. And all you can do as their friend is just be there for them.
I know that.
Like, I know it hurts.
It does.
Sorry, y'all. Just remember, we got to break it up because...
We got to break it up, y'all. Because some of them clips I did send was like, I was like, ooh, we going to have to chop it up, chop it style.
This is still YouTube at the end of the damn day.
Been in a relationship like that?
No.
That scene there,
You sure?
and I wish I would have...
Maybe a bit with Zach, but look, I left him.
I wish I would have sent the scene before that when she was in the car. I think she called him to let him know she was on her way home or whatever, and he said, well, what's wrong? And she briefly told him what was going on. He was like, hold it, and and save it and share it with me. I was about to get something. Like, what? What you mean hold it? What you mean keep it in? And when you get with me, then you release it so I can be there for you. I said, Aaron, let me tell you something, baby.
Let me tell you something, brother.
It would take God and every legion of angel in heaven to keep me from popping it open, okay? And I would want to be a good girl. I would want to
get your heart out of that.
Hold on to your celibacy, baby.
You gotta be able to give her the same.
You make it real hard.
Real hard, sir. Sir. What do you mean? Just hold it a little bit longer. I'm gonna be right there. I got you.
Girl,
But in this scene, you want to describe what's going down in this scene, Allie, before I play the rest of it?
Yeah. In this scene here, this is after she left, Andy's, and Aaron is pretty much telling her that
this was behind Andy and the Gary thing, right?
Yeah, this was after she left Gary's house after she left Andy's house when, Andy, she was upset because it's like, she want to marry this man. And I'm having an issue, with this. And Aaron was just letting her know, like, hey, you have to let people find their way, work out their own, I was going to say work out your own salvation, but in a sense, work out their own stuff. Yeah. And you can't rush their process. Yep. And he asked her, like, have you ever been in a situation like that before? And she says no. But then she brings up Zach, and she said, well, I ended things with him. And she
hold that thought, Allie. Hold that thought right there, because I think that's so perfect.
When you love someone, it's never easy.
Can you just, I don't know, stop preaching and just hold me?
That was so perfect. Go ahead. Sorry. Just wanted to
no. And because I'm like, oh my Lord, the fact that I remember all this stuff. And I don't know exactly where she left off with that, but the wisdom that Aaron was giving her, she knew he was telling the truth.
Not only that, Allie. Not only that, on like deep dive rewatch, like focusing on the scene itself, he was also talking about them. He's also talking about, he's probably telling her what he's had to tell himself to put himself in a position to really support her through this period of time where he knows she has to grow out of this yearning and longing and desire for this toxic ass man who didn't treat her right. He is able to meet her with grace. He is able to meet her with patience. And while he don't understand it, while he knows she's better than this, while he understands that to a certain extent their relationship was abusive, while she's like, no, I wasn't in an abusive relationship. He has full context. He's literally like mirroring who he's asking her to walk into being because he's doing that for her. And I'm just like, yes! Hell yeah!
That's good.
Get you a man that's not just going to tell you what to do, but can show you. And then be patient enough to like let you figure it out as you're doing it. Because while she was like, well, can you stop preaching and just hold me? He like, was I preaching or was I talking? Because he was also just talking, baby girl. But hit dogs start to holler. You could just, ooh, yeah, that was you a little bit, Karen. Just a tad. Just a tad, Miss Girl. Just a tad.
Or was I just talking?
But you talk like a preacher, so I get.
I think
Just a tad, but it was you, boo. But it was still you. And I think that what you said was so powerful because Aaron is so intentional. I don't believe he ever says anything just to say it. So when he asked her, have you ever been in a relationship like that? She said no. And he knew that wasn't the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But he still met her with grace.
Yep.
He still met her with compassion. And even when she was like, can you just stop preaching to me and hold me? And he did make the statement, was I preaching or was I just talking? And she was like, well, you talk like a preacher, so it's the same thing. And he was like, all right. You're like, okay, I'm just leaving it alone. Like, I'm not going to force the issue. I'm not going to push it. So he also knew how to handle Karen in a way that, one, did not make her feel disrespected, did not make her feelings feel as if they were void or that they were not valid. He still always extended that and still held her like she desired.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, yeah, you're going to get this wisdom. But he had a way to say it that I'm sure made her think about a lot of things without discrediting her emotional state in that moment. So he just, baby, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Chef's
kiss. And I think his patience, his leading by example, and his consistent pursuit, regardless of the challenges, are like the things that really made it so that the Karen and Aaron relationship would exist in season 8. Because left to Karen's own damn devices, and with a lesser man with lesser emotional maturity, mental stability, maybe even means or whatever, he would not be here. There would not be a man standing in this position today if it was up to Karen and which she has known relationships to be, and if there was anybody of lesser caliber or lesser stature of men. Let's get into some of the significant turning points within their relationship. Now that we've established the very real obstacles that Aaron has persevered through when it comes to like pursuit of this relationship. What do you think some of the turning points were?
In no particular order. One of the turning points was definitely when they had sex for the first time.
Not when they had, yes. You know what? And I got it. And I got it for y'all.
You got, okay.
Why is that man so?
I said I want to make love to you.
Aaron.
Oh, look, I haven't been drinking.
Y'all.
We have to break this up into 3 parts. 1, because of YouTube, and 2, because when I tell y'all that man is so fine.
He is fine.
Okay, I haven't been doing anything other than just thinking about making love to you. Don't say no.
Karen is dumbfounded. She just like, this is what I hope to pray.
She don't even know what to do. She don't even know what to do. That man said, look, I have not been drinking. All I've been able to think about is making love to you.
That's it. That's
Ain't no
it.
this ain't liquor. This is not liquor infused, baby. I got a clear conscience, clear mind.
And
Don't
I'm
say
here.
no. Just I want you.
Don't,
Period.
don't say no.
Mm.
I don't want
Or
you to
just say
lose
that you
anything.
want to.
I do.
It was that I do, Allie.
Girl, that ain't gonna be the last I do. We hear from Karen on Sistas. I'm just gonna
That
say
I
that.
do
But
was the thing that set it
yeah,
off, baby.
I just don't want you to have
He
That I
said
do
I'll
is all
take
I
it
need
from
to
here.
take it from here.
no.
Well, all
I
right.
just need your consent.
Well,
I
all
just need your
right.
consent, baby.
We love a man who understands consent. I would agree, Ellie. This is definitely a turning point. I think up until
Yeah.
this point, there was a lot of like feeling around and like waiting in the war. At least for Karen, like, okay, he feels a little bit too good to be true, but I definitely deserve. I've seen something else, so I want more. But can I really have more? But I kind of love that. But then no. Okay, let me try this.
Yeah. That it was such a beautiful moment. Now I'm gonna tell you, and I see what y'all saying in the chat. I purposely sent Erica the clip without including Zach and Fatima
Oh yeah, because we
because
we we don't care.
I remember
We don't
what you
care
say, Erica.
because we
Yeah, we
don't
don't care about
care.
that. But I remember watching this scene, and I literally thought that they messed up on the episode when I saw Zach and Fatima pop up.
Why?
Because I was like, I I thought they put in like what happened the episode before. I thought it was a glitch.
Mm.
Cause I'm like, why am I seeing Zach? It was just so weird. I was like, why am I seeing Zach and Fatima? Like I literally was about to cut. I thought it was like a editing issue. That's what I thought it was.
No,
And
that was
I'm
part of
like,
the story.
and
They
I'm
really
like, y'all
wanted to put the
telling me?
juxtaposition of them too.
Yes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, they couldn't even have this moment without y'all including a sex scene with Fatima and Zach. I mean, when that pissed me off to the utmost, but it ain't about them.
But I think honestly,
Aaron.
real quick though, because
Hmm.
I think at that point they hadn't decided that Karen and Zach would not make it. I think. Because
Okay.
I am a full belief that they did not anticipate the Fatima Palooza that became people's like obsession with Crystal, and then
Hmm.
her chemistry with Deval and the way that they have it and like what that couple looks like. I am of the camp that the Zatima fandom is riding high on the aesthetic of that couple. And in all due respect, because they're a good looking couple. They look good together. I don't think that they planned that or knew that at that time. So I felt like when we were seeing all those juxtapositions with them, it was because Karen was always supposed to be back with Zach.
That still pissed me off, and I could rock with that. I could definitely rock with that explanation. It just pissed me off because by that time we had so many sex scenes with Fatima and Zach. Like it was so many already up until that point. I'm like, y'all just couldn't give them one, even if
Yeah.
y'all didn't quite know for sure. We done dealt with the blue light special with them, and we done dealt with all of that. This is the one time, and I think what was so significant for me, even more so about the sex, is that being intimate sexually with Aaron is something that Karen desired, but
Mm-hmm.
she also was trying her best to respect the fact that he wanted to remain celibate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now having that moment where Aaron is truly all in. He's truly all in, and he wants this just as bad as you do. And at that moment in time, he's like, "Hey, let the chips fall where they may. I want you, and I want you now." But you're right that I do. But and she said something in this scene that she also said in season 2 when he came to Sabrina's house and they went to the hotel. Karen's thing was she never wanted Aaron to regret
Yeah.
having sex with her.
Yep.
And I used to always like question of all the things, like why was that so important to her? And I always felt that the writing kind of downplayed the way that she really felt about Aaron, like she wasn't ready to express it fully, because
Mm.
I'm like that was just something that was so important and so precious to her that I don't want you to regret anything. Even in the hotel, she said, I don't want you to regret anything, especially with us. I don't want you to regret anything.
And what do you
And
think
I'm
that
like,
that
that's
came from? Because for me, I don't know. Like, now that I think about it, we might have been in our heyday for the Tyler writing back then, because I feel like I got just enough to really piece everything together. Maybe my imagination was working overtime, but like her even making those statements took me to a place of, one, she don't want to be the one to derail this man off of this very pure journey. Cool, because she's a good person. That just is what it is. But also, I tie some of it to like her self-worth and the place that she was at with her self-worth. She don't want to be the trollop. She don't want to be the Jezebel. She don't want to be the dive into the dumpster. Not to say that she's calling herself those things, but sometimes there's like little, things working in the back of your mind, saying the thing but not really saying the thing that's driving that particular thing. And I felt like she was so gung-ho about, I can't have you regret that, or like being in a place of like thinking, assuming that he would regret it because she thought so little of herself at the time.
I agree with that. And that makes sense because as you're speaking, yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all, I had so many clips. I told Eric I didn't even send her half of them because it would have been a show full of clips. But as
and we out here trying to beat the prospective plan's allegations. We not being here for 5 hours.
Yeah, we're not gonna be there. But it was even in that scene where they were in the car and they came back from the club, and he was like, I'll sleep on the couch, and she was like, you ain't gonna be able to sleep on the couch. Like, and he was like, no, I will. She said, well, what if I don't want you to sleep on the couch? And he was like, I'll be the strong one, for us tonight. She was like, well, I only got one bedroom, and I don't want you to regret anything. Like, she didn't want, as you stated, she didn't want to be that chick that you just got weak for and had sex with. Like, I don't want to be that person. But even that,
Allie,
to you.
Even that is so great because in the dialogue, she says, or he says, I can sleep on the couch. She says, you're not going to be able to. That is a direct callback to season 1, episode 1, when she tossed Zach out on his ass, and then she let him come back because he had nowhere to go and he had to sleep on the couch. And where the hell did he end up by morning? Mm-hmm. So like, that is a reference to what she has known, what she has been conditioned to expect. Child, let me find out Tyler was really cooking seasons 1 through 3.
I think Tyler was cooking. I think we got, when I went back and looked at the scenes, I'm like, Tyler was really in his bag with the Karen and Aaron. The Karen and Aaron situation and their dynamic. He really was. And once the Fatima and Zach thing blew up, I could tell when he faltered in his writing for them, in my opinion. But in the earlier parts, he was definitely in his bag.
Child.
Definitely so.
What's the next turning point do you think happened within their timeline?
The next turning point with Aaron and oh man, what was the next? Oh dang, it's so many.
I'm thinking about the pregnancy, but I don't know if it's something before that.
I was gonna say pregnancy, but I was like, oh, that season that I jumped a lot, but that was a true turning point. I think before I said the pregnancy, it was when she officially ended things with them. When he thought that he was the father. This is before the twins, y'all. We knew about the twins. When he thought he was the father, he misread the results, and she officially ended things with Aaron. And that sad scene where he walked out her door. They was even matching with their outfits. I said, oh, this is cute. But that scene, it was cute, but it hurt my feelings so bad. And I think the reason why it hurt my feelings, because that was the first time with Aaron and Karen that it felt like goodbye.
Wait, what? Do you know which season that was?
Oh, I didn't send you that one.
No,
it was.
Okay. Don't worry about it, because I ain't gonna be able to.
It was season. I think it was season 6.
Oh well, that's well past the pregnancy.
Yeah, it was well past the pregnancy before he found out that he was the father.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we could get to
that. And we didn't see him for a month of Sundays after that.
Well, before that, I think the pregnancy reveal was a turning point in that timeline. And like him being gung ho. Being gung ho to support Miss Girl, regardless of who's the pappy. I still am just like, I don't know too many men.
that was a huge turning point. And I misunderstood what you said. Yes, the
No
pregnancy
worries.
reveal. The pregnancy reveal when she told him that she was pregnant because he was giving her a foot massage in her office, and Karen was like, "I'm pregnant," and he was like, "What?" You know, he thought it was his baby. He was excited.
Uh-huh.
He was happy. And she was like, she was very adamant. This is not your child. This is not your baby. And he was like, well, are you sure? You just don't want it to be mine. And he didn't care. And Karen got upset. And she was like, I only told you this so that you would stop pursuing me. And he was like, have you not been listening? I ain't going nowhere. I don't care. Like, you thought this was going to stop something? Psych. Where I'm going? Nowhere. I said, back. I think I was already in love with Aaron, but that just sent me over the hill. Over
Child.
the hill. I was done.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, Karen, you already know, baby. You already know these lockers hold up very well when two bodies are pushing against it. I'm gonna need you to do a rerun, sis, with Aaron back here because what this man just told you, sis.
And meant it.
Excuse me.
And meant it. Like, I cannot express enough how important it is and how I don't know, like how differentiating it is that Aaron is a character that says things that like, yeah, okay, but he also means them and he can back it up. He leaves a trail of evidence behind him of like everything that he's saying to be true. And when he's predicting the future or like casting himself into the future of like, this is what I'm going to do, you kind of have no choice but to damn believe him because he's shown you he has done everything that he said thus far. He gonna continue to do the things that he's saying. Child.
Continue. He gonna continue.
Um,
I mean, I don't, you know, I've been celibate before, you know what I'm saying? And it was years that I remained that way. And it, that's a hard journey. That's a difficult journey. And to meet someone that's on that journey when you're not,
mm-hmm.
oh my God. But that pregnancy reveal was top tier because Aaron really showed like I don't care who fathered this child. Yes, I want it to be mine, but it doesn't matter if it's not. I am not going anywhere. And one of the reasons for me why I think that was such a turning point in the relationship between Aaron and Karen because it forced her to trust him in a way that I don't think she ever thought she could. Because from that moment on, she kept questioning, I don't know any man who would do this. I don't know why you would do this. I'm having a difficult time believing that he's gonna stay with me if this child isn't his. If it is Zach's, Aaron is not gonna, adhere to what he's told me. And we saw that merry-go-round up and down so many times from that moment. So it was a true turning, a true turning point, for them as a unit.
Yeah.
It really was.
And then to your point, the next major one was him having to walk away, respecting her boundaries, and like bowing out, but still keeping tabs a little bit.
Yeah. Still kept tabs, and he let her know, hey, I'm always a call away. Always.
And then we arrive here, exiting season 8, going into season 9. Karen has relinquished the banishment and has accepted Aaron back into her life and is enjoying the fruits of said fix of a damn mistake, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very hopeful in reference to where they are exiting season 8. How you feel?
I am very hopeful as well, and I am excited. It's been a long, I don't really get excited for anything with Sistas, just being honest. But when it comes to Aaron and Karen in this moment that they are in now, this season that they're in, I am truly excited about it. It's been so long since we have seen Karen show any type of affection towards Aaron in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like that in itself was something I was like so happy to see what was it, the episode before the season finale, and when Pam called him anointed Aaron, like he just got to know everything, child. And Aaron and Karen told him, she was like, "Oh, baby, you good." And I was like, not calling him baby, not kissing in front of your employees and your clientele. Oh, baby, you're all in.
Come
All
on, you're
this, what we
all
gonna take
in.
it slow, and we don't know what. Girl, bye. That's your baby for real. And I was just excited to see them in a good place, and
Mm.
also being helpers ye to one another, even in the professional life. So I'm excited for what's to come. I mean, I know we gonna have sprinkles of foolishness, I'm sure. However, they have shown that together as a united front, they are powerful together, and they really have each other's best interests at heart. And I'm just excited to see this blooming of this newfound relationship between the two.
Yeah. And as much as I'm like happy for Karen and accepting, what Aaron is offering to her, I'm also really, really excited for Aaron in this moment because she is finally at a place where she can really reciprocate. And we always knew her to be this girl, like to be able to come into a relationship and give a lot, like she gave a ton to Zach. And Aaron is actually deserving of all that she can actually give. So for me, it's like, it's really dope because it's not, they've exited the season where Aaron has to keep pouring into her, and now she can pour back into him. Even though she's pregnant, even though it's still gonna be a vulnerable time for her mentally and emotionally, she's in such a stable place that she can just reciprocate. And that to me is where, when you get to a healthy place within relationships, when there's reciprocity.
Absolutely, I'm excited for him too, and I think a lot of times, Aaron's emotional, state, or what he's actually been through emotionally, gets overlooked simply
Mm,
because people just didn't want him to give that to Karen. But
yeah.
a lot of people forget, that he was married for 15 years. He was taking care of children who he adopted, that were not biologically his children, and he had to, find out that his wife of 15 years was having an affair with a friend of his. Something he thought was a
Child.
one-time thing. He found out, oh, this been happening for a while. I've been looking like Boo Boo the Fool out here when you've been sleeping with my good friend for months. And I
Child.
had to, get a private detective to even, investigate it to find this stuff out. And so I am happy for him in the sense where he knows what love is, to be truly loved, to be truly cherished, as a man. And I think that that is also important to show on Sisters as well.
Yeah.
Like that is a part of a healthy relationship, yes, to show these women being loved, adored, and poured into, but also showing that they are capable. Well, Karen is capable, of pouring, of encouraging, and we've seen her do that, with Aaron. But to
Yeah.
really see her do that from a place of this is my man and I'm in love with him, I can only imagine what that's gonna look like, on screen. So I am excited, for his journey as well.
Yeah. Same, friend. Same. They deserve each other, and we love when the people that deserve each other finally get it together. They get on the same accord.
Amen.
Ciao. All
Yeah.
right. So we done laid out a little bit of the timeline, y'all. We also didn't pepper in what makes them kind of special, but I think we kind of need to elaborate on that just a bit before we move into my favorite part in discussing the whole Aaron and Karen of it all. Um, the qualities that make them special, mutual respect and genuine care, is at the top of the list.
Yes.
In
Yes.
Karen's moments where she was teeter tottering back and forth with Zach, or like convinced that she was only the mother to Zach's kid, and like, we got to make it work and just leave Fatima, I still feel like in those moments she was way more considerate to Aaron than I would have expected a person to be who was in that particular mindset, quote unquote, thinking about themselves. She moved in a way that, again, I think displayed mutual respect and genuine care, because she knew that she wasn't done with Zach at various moments in her life. She knew that she felt trapped. Sometimes she knew that she felt less than. And more often than not, she tried to spare Aaron versus intentionally trying to string him along, which I think would have been a choice for plenty of other people.
Mm, that is that needs to be definitely discussed and explored, because I know a lot of people have felt and have expressed individually on our channels and our comment sections, as well as when it will pop up on our Sisters Keeper, that Karen never wanted Aaron, Karen never liked Aaron, and all this other nonsense. However, if you actually watch the show, you do see a woman who genuinely cares about someone, even though she still has emotional baggage with her ex. And in Karen's defense, she did not, well, I have to defend her because she operated in truth with him. Aaron always knew what it was. She didn't lie to him about, when things with Zach would come up with her, emotionally. She didn't lie. It was what it was. And he chose to stay around, even though there were times that I believe that she was intentionally trying to push this man away from her. Like,
Yeah.
get the hell away from me because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hurt you. Like, I think that was her. Like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to put you in this. Like, I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want you to hurt me because
Mm-hmm.
I really do care about you. And that's like, I think the emotional journey of Karen during this time was, I mean, massively written,
Yes.
because Homegirl was going through it, and
Through
it
it.
makes me think about a scene the episode where the girls walked in on her and Aaron having sex, and later on
Ah.
in that episode, she was in her salon talking to the girls, and she was like, she said, I feel like I'm losing him. And I like him a lot. It's confusing. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I know how I feel about Zach, but I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose this man either. So
Mm-hmm.
this tug of war, and Karen just really being honest about, where she was, and I can respect that because, as you said, a lot of women really would have, strong Aaron alone, letting him believe something that wasn't true just to see whether or not Zach would make that left turn back to them, and that's
Yeah.
not what she did. So
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect that.
For sure. And the other core quality is definitely their healthy communication patterns. Like the
Yeah.
way that these two talked was unprecedented on the show. It's like if only everybody, including the platonic girlfriends, could actually communicate what they're feeling and thinking, we might actually be onto something here. I want to throw back to a scene that I think displays this because they have so many. There's a plethora of them talking about how they feel, regardless of how uncomfortable, regardless of how awkward, regardless of how vulnerable it makes them feel in the
Is it
moment.
about Zach?
No, no.
Are you sure?
Well, kind of, actually.
Okay.
Aaron,
And kudos to Ebony. Because during this season, like, and I'm not saying this particular season in the show, but I'm saying this season in her arc or her life as a character, she had so many little nuggets of shame tied to, when she was feeling pulled away from Aaron or like distracted by her past, but then Aaron is sitting right there. Like, even in this scene, it's just like she's communicating and it's uncomfortable and she feels shame about what she's saying.
Yeah. She feels shame about what she said, and I wish, because there was a scene where she was at Andy's house right before this, because this was a time where she kind of distanced herself from Aaron, and she was at Andy's house, and and Andy was like, "Oh, it's the preacher man that got you acting like this." And she was like, "No, honestly, I haven't seen him," and Andy said, "Well, if you haven't seen him, like, you should call him."
so
And she was like, "No,"
it's
she said, "but
good.
I do miss him though."
Everything's all good.
And Andy was like, "Well, if you miss him, call him." So she did ended up calling him, because at the time Karen knew that she was pregnant, but she hadn't told
Mm-hmm.
Aaron yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this set up to this scene is, she went to the basketball court, asked him to come over because her intention was she wanted to tell him that she was pregnant But I believe, looking at him and having this man that you care about next to you and having to reveal this, and as you stated, Erica, just the shame, the embarrassment, the unknown, because even in this moment between them, Aaron tells her, like, I'm still here. And she said, yeah, but, you've almost given up like quite a few times. And he said, but I'm still here and I'll be here as long as I can be here. So that let me know that even in this
Child.
conversation, it was so powerful because she's dealing with, I do want to tell him, I don't want him to leave me. I don't know how he gonna react, but I am in this situation. But I'm scared to say it.
Yeah.
So I'm processing and yeah, she's in that mode, and he knows it's something. He doesn't pressure her, and that's one thing I really do love about his character. It's like, so whatever it is, it's gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
And
and
I'm
he
gonna be
lets her,
right
because
here
later
when it comes out.
I'm gonna be right
Thanks.
there.
Like,
Because even
sir.
later on in the
No,
scene, she feels
I'm
like,
processing
like,
a
you're
lot,
almost too good
and
to be true. And he was like,
it's
nah, you ain't gonna
fine.
project that onto me.
And,
I'm an
I
open
know
book.
I ain't been
This your stuff.
easy.
Aaron, my Aaron. Allie, Lord.
It's
Karen,
Yeah.
Y'all see that man?
I love you.
Hot dog.
Oh, that's good.
Allie, so you had me pull these damn scenes. And it started off with the first one where Karen talking to Zach about what type of man she needs. And she's like, when he talks to me, he looks at me. And every motherfucking scene with them, Allie, this man is locked in. When she opens her mouth, he is paying attention.
He is paying attention, honey.
Fully invested. I really, for the life of me, cannot figure out why they are not this fandom's favorite couple. All of the material is right here. But that's not what this video is supposed to be about. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it pushing.
But I'm going to hit him with something when we get further into this video. As to why I think that. Why I feel the way I feel.
Okay, bet.
Mm-hmm.
Bet. Because if we ain't going to do nothing here, we're going to get everybody together and make sure we stay there and make it
are.
plain. Another great quality of them as a couple ties to their individuality, but specifically the growth that we watch them experience separately that ultimately winds up benefiting their unit. It's like a match made in heaven. It's almost like they function how couples are supposed to function, Amy. Wild thought.
When I'm with you, all I get. Wild thoughts. The individual growth alongside the relationship growth, it has been so necessary. And I believe like we see that definitely in the latter seasons when he respected her boundary when she officially cut things off. He did not come around her. He did not call her, even though he was keeping his tabs. Mm-hmm. But he respected what she desired of him in that moment, which in return allowed Aaron to grow and it allowed Karen to grow. So when he did come back around, even though Aaron was still in love with Karen, he still kept the boundary that she desired. Mm-hmm. He still kept that. Until she's ready, until she's ready to come to this place of wanting me like I want her, I'm going to, keep it to where it is. So when we did see Karen recognize like, thank you for taking up for me. Even though I don't want to see you and Zach come to blows, it did feel good seeing you take up for me. It's almost like she was having a moment to remember how it was being with Aaron. And it wasn't like, I felt it wasn't rushed. I felt that it was definitely authentic because she didn't have to think too far back. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this what this feels. I remember how I felt with him. And it was like an automatic, natural thing to want that old thing back again. Hello. And even though I wasn't happy with the way the writers kind of didn't really give us any conversation, I did respect the fact that Karen took the initiative to put herself in a position to be rejected while she's pregnant. Baby, I'm pregnant, I'm hormonal and emotional, and I'm putting myself in a position to get rejected by the man that I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. So
A
I was
hell of a
happy
lot.
just to see the growth. I was happy to see her, let him know, like, I know that, Zach has been a constant presence, but that's not the case anymore.
Mm-hmm.
My feelings for you has nothing to do with him. So on and so forth. So I was pleased with the growth that we saw with them two.
Yeah. And for me, it's like it's so interesting just how much growth it has been. Um, because like in this scene here, Aaron is literally like reassuring Karen that she's not raggedy or ridiculous. Like she's going
I can
through it
definitely
and
feel
she's
that.
getting through it, which is the whole point.
I want to be
And
free of him. I do.
he really stood on that. Like he really saw what this was from the very beginning, made a decision about her, and then stuck to it, which to me might seem like, oh, okay, this is who you are, but I feel like there's so much growth on his part as well. Because in this one, in making a decision and sticking to it, when you do that as a person, you prove to yourself that you are who you say that you are, which can be huge in reference to like growing into the best version of yourself. Even if you are a decent person, like Aaron came to the table a pretty decent person, but I could only imagine internally what it feels like in season 9 to now be finally getting the reward that he has always saw himself having in Karen, feeling like she has been meant for him, sent by God, and all of that. And you know, being the person that is okay with delayed gratification, being the person that's okay with putting the work in and not expecting or not necessarily needing the partner to come fully healed, but being able to lean into all of the things that he has cultivated within his life and his lived experience that he lent to Karen over the course of this time to help her along. There's like, again, just so much growth for them individually. Like Karen got the more visible growth and like us visually watching her go through the process of like the back and forth and the circle to circle to circle with Zach until, okay, I'm over it. Okay, wait, I want to be by myself. Okay, wait, you can go. Okay, wait, no, actually I deserve. So you can visually see that, but I don't want to also negate what growth inevitably had to happen just with Aaron being a man of such dedication and conviction.
Yeah, we have to definitely shine a light because it don't get shined on for him. We definitely got to shine a light on Aaron because you said something I think that was so powerful, and especially with people who watch this show who may consider themselves to be men of God, women of God, people or women of prayer, men of prayer, whatever the case may be. When you pray and you believe that God has shown you that this is my husband or this is my wife, and every time it doesn't come in a red bow that's fully tied, and I could only imagine the conversations that Aaron must have had with God. Now, I believe you told me this was my wife. Are you sure? Because this has to be even. I don't care how strong of a person you are. When you are getting a constant rejection, when you are being shown that the person who my affections are for has affections for someone else, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to and I want people truly, for those who are watching and those who may watch later, to truly understand Aaron still being around has been a consistent choice he has had to make.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show up. I'm not going anywhere in spite of. That's because you only been dealing with little boys. Now you dealing with a man. Like, and because I am this man, the man that I profess, I'm going to show you. Excuse me, because even in this scene here, Karen was apologizing. Now this was after homegirl and I called him Zach twice.
Mm-hmm. And she did, y'all.
And
She did. I
she
know
called
somebody
him
said
by
in the
another
chat that
man's
they
name.
didn't hear it. I pulled the scene. She did it.
She did it twice. Aaron tells her in this moment, don't worry about me. Because it's almost like I know you're for me. I just have to wait for you to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And because I am so committed and convinced, this is just what it is. This is
Yeah.
just the road that you have to travel. And when you come out of this, because even in the scene that Erica showed, when she says, I want to want you and only you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, baby, even in her
Be
confused
free to him
state,
today.
even where Karen
Yes.
was, because before this scene they
Right
went out to
now.
eat and she
Yes,
cried at the
absolutely.
bar
And ran
and
out,
left them
child.
and ran out. So I mean ran out, flojoed out.
Mm-hmm.
She gets to the place to tell this man, I want to want you and only you. That's where I want to be, but I know I'm not there. Half of my heart is here, the other half is over there. But this is where I am. And to have someone to love you genuinely
Mm-hmm.
as you process your feelings, as you go through that, says a lot. Because
Girl,
everyone can't do that.
and
And a
they
lot of people
sure
will take
can't.
advantage.
They sure can't, Allie. And what it just spoke to with me is like, this man has so much conviction and so much faith that you wasn't telling him nothing that he don't know. So in the moments where he says, don't worry about me, it's not because he don't want you to care for him or he don't want you to worry about him and his personhood. It's because he knows that you need all of your energy to get through what you're going through. And he should be the last of your concerns because he's not going anywhere. He is here to see you through this entire process so that he can get what he knows is at the end of this tunnel. Child, this man.
Yes. And he always told her, you're going to get through this, Karen. You're going to get through this,
God, I
Karen.
wish.
You're going to be all right. You're going to get through this, baby.
Can we get an Aaron Carter factory going? Because I fear we're in a deficit, and like we just need a couple more to hit the streets, Jesus. We just need a couple more.
Just a few, Lord. Just a few.
We need Aaron Carters to hit the streets like cook crack in the 80s.
Baby. And everybody strung out. Everybody.
Y'all, okay, we gotta keep it moving, child.
Yeah. So the next thing is the ability to overcome obstacles without unnecessary drama.
Child.
Baby.
Heavy on the without the unnecessary drama.
Unnecessary drama. And the scene that I'm thinking about, I don't know if I said it to you, but the scene that I'm thinking about is after she comes back from the doctor and Aaron was supposed to meet her at the salon. So he comes to the salon, he brings her lunch, and he's like, "It's Zach's baby." And she says, "Yeah." The doctor is pretty, sure, that it's his. And that could have been a moment there. That could have been some drama there.
Yep.
And, she tells him the truth. She's being open and honest. And she asked him, how do you feel about it? And she was making sure that, are you okay? Like, are you sure? And he's like, I'm fine. I'm disappointed, but I'm okay. How can I be there for you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can I? And she kind of, and I never forget, Ebony played this scene so well. She gives him a look like, what? And so the character says, you gotta stop. Like, you are too, like, what are you saying right now? I just literally told you something that could have potentially damaged whatever it is that we have going on. And they had a good momentum, at this time that could have really destroyed that. And you're trying to, do more. How can you be there for me? But I love this moment because even though it was something that could have turned incredibly, horrible, Karen was very much so understanding of his feelings, wanted to make sure that he was okay. Because even when he was getting ready to leave, she asked him again, like, are you okay? And am I going to see you tonight? So it's like, well, maybe he is going to be around. Maybe I fully can trust, this person. So yeah, just the unnecessary, dramas with.
Yeah, because
that could have been less.
There's a couple other men's in coupledoms in the Sistas universe. They hear one thing they don't like, or they suspect something they don't like that ain't even true, and they sashaying out of rooms, sliding into other women. Oh, okay. Just I just wanted to make sure I reiterated that for a second. This sets them apart, y'all. They are set apart because of that. Even thinking about all the drama that was created when Karen was in the season of like can't figure out how to get over Zach, if she wants to get over Zach, if she is going to get over Zach. Aaron was always the great equalizer of peace. he always came to the drama that was the Zach and Karen era with a grounding piece to him. He never came in and like made things escalate. Hell, when he caught them having sex in her salon, that man sat quietly over there in the corner and said, okay, I'm gonna let you finish. Basically. Child, he better than me.
Baby. He set that wash bowl for them to put their clothes on the cup. I said, honey, this man just
And remain calm, Allie.
Oh my God. And remained. And I'm thinking about that scene where he stayed over and Karen was like, this not gonna work because his man was speaking in the morning time. He ain't used the bathroom yet. And it's like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. And even in that moment, like, Karen definitely wanted to have sex with him, but she was letting him know, I've been celibate before.
Yeah.
And he let her know that you call out Zach's name in your sleep. And she was like, no, yeah, he was like, that's another reason why I want to take this thing slow, because, hey, like, you saying another man's name while you're sleeping, there's something there. I don't want to rush it.
Yep.
And it was in that moment, too, where Karen brought up the whole situation with her credit card. And he was like, exactly. And so he was getting ready to go take a shower or whatever. She was like, are you mad at me? And he was like, no, I'm not mad at you. I think you're great. Karen tried to kiss him. And he was like, nah, we're not doing that. Like, hey, I'm already there, woman. We are not doing that. But they've had so many moments where things could have went left.
Yeah.
Where things could have went left. And because they have effective communication, they're able to get their point across without, making the other one feel bad, making the other feel as if their feelings are not valid. Because, Karen wanting to have sex is a very valid thing.
It is.
Even those conversations could have turned, could have went left, but there you go.
I didn't wash my face. Right?
No. Look.
I don't see what y'all be missing. As we keep going through all these damn scenes, y'all, it's just more and more evidence that he is him. But this is what Allie was talking about just now.
He is
well,
him.
I've been very transparent with you, right? And I promise there's no surprises here.
I know, but I like surprises. Surprise me.
You like surprises?
Surprise me now.
Right, just surprise.
They gonna get me for the copyrights.
Oh Lord, okay, yeah, we just gotta be, yeah.
Just ask you to be patient with me, okay? Okay. Be patient with me. Be patient with this, and I promise it'll be worth it.
They're so adorable.
They are
just too cute.
Come on.
He says no. You just don't know how it feels, though.
Too cute.
And I remember during this time, the fandom, because I got to include them too in this, because I remember so many people who just didn't like Aaron. Oh, he's trying to control her with sex. He's trying to manipulate the relationship with sex. And I'm like, just say that you've never experienced a man that knows how to, control his urges. Just say that.
Just say
why
that.
Why you gotta go there? He's trying to manipulate and control the relationship with sex. Oh, I bet he having sex with other women. No, he wasn't. And it's okay to say that you've never experienced a certain man. That is fine. That is perfectly fine.
It's
saying
that part. Just say you have never dated a man with any type of sexual discipline in your life.
Just say that.
Just say it.
Just say you ain't got none. That could be there too.
Heavy on that, because we keeping it quiet is kept. How many people are coming into romantic relationships thinking that sex is the end all be all and never stop to cultivate any type of emotional connection that is outside of their genitalias and the yearnings that they feel down there? One of the things that Karen spoke to, Zach about was she wants a man not to just make love to her body, but also her mind. Just say you don't know nothing about that before you try to criticize his character and the couple that she finds that in.
Yeah.
Let's not call them weirdos. Let's not make it seem like something's wrong with her because you just never heard of such.
oh, it's boring, and they, and I remember I even challenged my sister one time years ago, and she was in a relationship, and I said, cut sex out. Cut sex. I mean, they were already having sex, so I know that was difficult. But I'm like, cut sex out and see what do you really have outside of that. Because when you cut that out, or you don't let that be such a top priority in your relationship, because sex can blind you at times.
Okay.
Sex can put you in this place where it's like,
Child.
oh, you overlook so many things because
So
he's
much.
making you feel good. You're experiencing this euphoric feeling that is fleeting, that is does not last.
Very.
And when you take that out and you realize, do you even know this person's childhood? Do you know how they were raised? Do you know his views on parenting? Her, like, you having those deep conversations, and you realize, I have given my body to the wrong person. When you young, you don't really be thinking about that. You just trying to, bust your little nut. But when you get older and companionship means something to you, you would take the extra precautions of having communication, and quiet is kept. That's what I also believe makes Karen and Aaron relationship so special, is because it's not rooted and grounded in sex.
Yep.
It's the one relationship that we have seen where they got a chance to know each other. And yes, he did go down on her for a good, 50 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Before
That didn't count.
Tarzan.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna charge that to the game. But it's like they got a chance to
Yeah.
get to know each other. They really did, without that being, an active variable in the relationship. So to me,
And
that's
it
another
becomes
thing
a
that makes
huge
them so special.
factor. To your point, Allie, like, I only had to learn this lesson one time, baby. I was wanting more. Great sex and amazing head had me wanting the world from a nigga with the personality of a thumb and the intellect to match. Like, girl, that was never gonna happen, baby. It was never it was never gonna give. And it's just like, but no, it's fine. I can adjust. Hell no. Ain't no orgasm in the world worth you tying your life to some raggedy Negro that you can barely have a conversation with because he don't know shit. He don't do shit. And these men have perfected the art of sexual prowess. They online yelling about the black men not going to college. I don't know about that. But they asses is going to dickmatized school. They be proficient in that. Protect yourself,
Got
ladies.
a PhD. Got a
Protect
PhD.
yourself.
And we gotta stop. Yes, ladies, you gotta protect yourself. Cause I'm telling y'all. And then we psych ourselves up for the okie doke. Well, because people around here getting dickmatized and headmatized too. Cause honey, that head, I don't know. I don't know. We grown, and if I'm being honest, I don't know what it is. I've had amazing sex. God knows. Lord, I ain't gonna put your name in this. I've had amazing sex. That is the truth. I have had amazing head, truly amazing, and that do something to you.
It does.
And you have
it
to
jumps
be
into
so
your
careful.
soul.
Yes, you have to be so careful, because we'll trick ourselves like, girl, just one more time and I'm gonna leave him alone. That one more time turn to another one more time. And then before you know it, a
You on
whole
a
3 months
schedule.
done went by.
Before
And
you
you
know it, you on a
still,
schedule, honey.
baby, what? Oh, no, because on Tuesday and Thursdays he get off work at 11.
Hello.
So I know I'm gonna get that call around 11:30. I'm gonna go. Hey, I'm gonna be at his house by 12:15. You know what I'm saying? Give him a chance. What? That's what we do. That's what we do. So it's like we have to truly set ourselves up not to fall into that cycle, because it is
Period.
dangerous. Sex
Very.
is, it can
Yes,
be
a
so
thumb,
good.
y'all. A thumb. I said what I said. Sorry, Allie.
I had somebody who, like, he didn't have a personality of a thumb, but it was pretty close. It was pretty close. Now he was a chef, and he
See,
could
then that's
cook
another
all
thing.
night.
Right behind sex is food. So the nigga was cooking, Allie. I know that you lost your damn mind. I know.
He was cooking in more ways than one. He was providing nourishment in more ways than one, and had me out here like a fool. Okay, and I said, now this is the bad thing, right?
Allie.
I don't like anything controlling me. So I didn't stop because I felt like, oh, this dude ain't no good. No. I stopped I never forget, I was talking to my homegirl, and I was passing his job, and I'm walking into he worked at a restaurant in Florida. We have Publix, and I'm walking to go into Publix, and the mere thought of him caused my body to respond.
Child.
And I had my friend on the phone. I said, "Girl, just talk to me. How was your day at work?" I said, "I don't care what you did. Make up something." So that I'm just like, it was that bad, and I'm like, this is a dangerous situation because the thought of this man is causing my body to respond in a way it shouldn't even be responding right now. And that, I said, hell no. I was done with him that day.
I love that
Because
for
what
you,
you not
friend.
gonna do is have me
Hello.
looking for you in the daylight with a
With a
flashlight.
flashlight. Absolutely
No,
not.
no,
Absolutely
no, no.
not.
I'm good on you, and you good, and you do marvelous things, but I can't rock with you no more because you gonna have control over me, and that
And
can't
that ain't gonna
happen.
work. Allie,
Mm-mm.
why did Nzinga say you said
What
it
she
was
said?
close to a thumb? She said so a pinky.
It was pinky. But okay, when I say close to a thumb, I mean like his personality really wasn't about nothing. Like his personality really wasn't about nothing. Like, and I'm a person who gets aroused on intellect, and
Yes,
that's how I
Lord.
knew also that he was
Yes.
dangerous because he wasn't even smart.
That's
And
when you
I,
really know. Once you like,
when you know,
I had to like. It's crazy because my best friend, who was a guy, had to like. He had to sit me down like, "How is you slow?" Basically, like, what is happening here? You done said this, and this happened. I'm coming to scrape your ass off this crying couch. And you said that the nigga is this, and this, and you're crying on this couch? Get your ass up. We taking this shit back to put, like, I had to have somebody do that because it was crazy, Allie. That's when you know. When the man be dumb as a box of rocks and you still there like, oh my God. That's when you really know.
that's when you know
And we
you are
need that one
dignified.
moment of clarity to break us free.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't, and it's so funny because Tracy B said if he can't talk about any current events, you don't need him. And the reason why I can relate to that because I was a journalism major, so every Tuesday and Thursday in my mass media class, we had to read the Tallahassee Democrat, we had to read New
Mm.
York Times, and we had to read, I forget the other newspaper. There was three different newspapers that we had to read. So I have been accustomed since college, even high school, current events, and I like newspapers. Like I don't like looking stuff online. I like something I can hold in my hand. So I've
Yeah.
always been up on stuff. So as you said, when you get with somebody who does not meet you intellectually, and I can still be aroused by you, you are a dangerous being, and I need to get the hell
Away.
away from your presence. And that's kind of like how I feel about, that's why I say with Aaron, it would be such a hard thing for me because one, he is an
Yes,
intelligent man.
Lord.
Two, you are emotionally intelligent on top
It's
of
the
just being
levels to the
a smart
intellect.
guy. Yeah,
Yes.
and you love God. You're willing to, or was willing at one point to keep yourself celibate. That is a hard journey, and I can relate to that. And it would be difficult for me to abstain. Is all I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Because he deserves it. He deserves
Hello.
everything he gets.
Everything. And then some. Just to make sure we never short him. He always get extra.
Yeah, but what? Child.
Oh my goodness. Cheryl said it's the same for women too. I bet. Some of my homegirls be
Yeah,
going through. And I'm just like, wait a
yeah,
minute now. Do you need me to remind you of what Miss Girl did?
yeah,
But all right.
yeah. I got a few. Only thing that say my friends, they married theirs. They
Mm.
married theirs, so it's like, you ain't in the street no, all right. You married him. Okay, cool. I'll marry her. Okay, cool, I got you.
The last but certainly not least quality, y'all, is that the characters are very consistent in their behaviors. What they say matches what they do. And that's on both accords.
Well,
That sets them
yes.
apart for sure, for sure. As a couple, but
Absolutely.
then also as individuals within this universe. Now, my favorite part of this conversation, when we get to talking about Aaron and Karen, I fell in love with Aaron the moment I realized that he was taking a trope a stereotype, if you will, and flipping it on its head. This, I think, is what has me locked in with Aaron Carter forever. Even if he and Karen don't make it, I'm still locked in with him forever because of all the things that we talked to y'all about and we've been, speaking to on this episode and others. To me, Aaron was dismantling the idea that the ride or die label only applies to women. He, to me, flips that expectation on his head, and he became, or is, the man that a woman would typically be, specifically in these black love circumstances. Nobody bats an eye when there's a woman with a man who can't get right, who can't stay focused, who isn't ambitious, who isn't like providing, who isn't there, who is looking elsewhere, right? Nobody is really batting an eye. Well, not nobody. Like there's a couple people, but for the most part, it has been normalized for women to ride or die and to stand by black men, lift them up, be the backbone that they need, be the teacher, be the provider in certain cases, because black men need a leg up. Black men are positioned a certain way in this country, and I'm not taking that away from them because they are. They do feel, are under oppression similar to us. However, in being men, in a patriarchal society, they are already given a certain privilege that black women will never even know. So the way that we get saddled with extra responsibility to prop up certain men who can't seem to get it right on their own, and it's okay, but then the moment that a man turns around and has to be patient with a woman, has to understand that her heart is torn, has to understand that her mind is somewhere else, even though he is the best option, she's still looking at this other option, and he still finds patience and grace for that. I'm like, absolutely, sign me the hell up, because nobody had a problem when I was doing it for my damn Zach, or my cousins was doing it, or my mama was doing it. There are so many women, like, and I don't know how you were raised, Allie, but like I was raised and have just seen so many women propping up black men my entire life. So when I got in my 20s and I had this big, great love of mine, it did not feel abnormal to be like, all right, well, he don't got no money, so let me go ahead. And all right, well, he don't understand and he don't know how to express himself, so like, let me over articulate, and it's fine that he don't communicate, and it's fine, It's like, no, it's not fucking fine. The same way that there's a lot of things that black women experience that we have to now take the lumps, take the pain, learn from and grow through and teach ourselves. I'm sorry, black men, but y'all asses is going to have to do it too, because we're not here to be the buffer or the shield to catch all the bullets for you. But Aaron stepped up in a lot of ways and was like, you know what? I'll be that for you because I'm strong enough. And I just will forever give him his respect and just do. Because he's the epitome of the male ride or die. And if y'all want ride or dies to exist in female, then they need to also exist in male.
That is the God honest truth. I know, like my growing up, like with my immediate family, almost everyone was married. So I grew up with a lot of my aunts and my uncles, being married at the time. Like currently, the only ones who are not married is my mom and my oldest aunt, but everybody else had been married pretty much either before I was even born, or they got married when I was a young child. Mm-hmm. So the scope of my family is marriage. And thankfully I did have positive men in my life, so I knew what that looked like for men to be a provider, to take care of their family. So I knew that. So like when I was out here doing my little thing, I clearly knew the people that I was doing it with, I would not ever date them seriously. Like, we can do whatever, but if you're my man, there is something special about you. That's my man. And so when I look at, Karen and Aaron's situation, I automatically fell in love with him because when we see what we see in society, what we see on film and television, you don't see Aaron. It's normally the woman who, I'm going to deal with the cheating. I'm going to deal with, you had a baby on me, but baby, we going to make it work. Knowing that if the woman did this, the man is not going, he's either going to be nasty, he's not going to look at you the same again. He's going to tell you it's too hard and he has to go. When it's the woman, it's almost as if it's mandatory for you to take this cheating bastard back.
Mm-hmm.
He had a baby on you, but at least he, but he want to be with you.
Yep.
No, he don't. No, he don't. And then you got people who actually says this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then going back to what you said earlier, and I said I want people to think about this because Aaron is definitely giving those things to Karen, the patience, the compassion, the grace. And then you have a sect of women or a group of women who feel that she doesn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you really got to sit with that as a woman to look at this character. Like, she's not Danny. Let's be real about that. To look at this character and say that she doesn't deserve it only because you don't like how she did the man who was hurting her, who was giving her STDs, who was cheating on her.
Ooh,
I'm sorry,
child.
what the hell? See, people have no problem with Karen. Well, let me not say people. The bulk of the fandom had no problem with Karen. Oh, Zach trying.
Hello.
No, he's not. And no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. But y'all wanted her to stay down bad. That's the crazy part. People wanted her to stay down bad, but when she got with Aaron, said that she didn't deserve it. Oh. But the way that Aaron depicts men, it's almost go back to what I said at a few moments ago. It's okay to say that you have not had a man to display patience with you, to display compassion with you, and that's not to say that you're a bad person if you haven't had that. Have you prayed for it? Ooh. Have you put yourself in a position to be willing to embrace that and what that looks like for you? Mm-hmm. Because that's not to say that he's a depiction of a ride or die, but that doesn't give Karen the license to remain where she was.
Yep.
So if you want a man like that, it's going to require some growth. It should, but the reality is on
at least a peek into potential for growth. You also can't be, I think the thing about it, and maybe this is the part that's the dissonance for people, right? When it comes to Karen and saying that she doesn't deserve it, they don't know what it looks like to have potential in you to be greater because they only see themselves as where they are.
True. And then that's sad, as well. And I guarantee that, I'm not going to say all women, that most women, that comes from being in a relationship with a Zach.
What do you think is unfair?
Being in a relationship with a Zach, your esteem is low. The way you view yourself is low, because even if you don't express how you feel to that man, you are sitting with yourself to wonder, why am I dealing with this? Mm-hmm. How long am I gonna deal with this? And then you get someone like Aaron. That's why I don't understand why it's so hard for women to attempt to say they don't understand why Karen just wasn't all in with Aaron, even though he presents this thing. It's scary because you've never had it.
Yep.
And I really don't trust it. So it would be easier for her to get back with Zach because I know this bastard.
Yep.
Or someone like Zach because I'm familiar with that. Other than getting with this man he's giving me what I've always given. How? Is this really
when
authentic?
Did that become a thing? Hello?
Yeah.
When that thought hit your mind, when did this become a thing? Because you have been alerted to something new unlocking in your world will change your life.
What? It will change your life. And I know I could have missed out on somebody great. I don't know. I just wasn't attracted to him. I'm just
the situation that
but
I'm
he
in.
was cool. He was my friend.
Can we just say that I'll be here?
In Tallahassee, and he asked could he stay at my house, and I was like, no. And he was like, because where he was working at was closer if he stayed at my house than him driving 35 minutes back to where he lived. And I was like, no. And it wasn't even. I didn't trust myself. Now I had just made a choice. I said, God, and I was probably at this time. I probably was celibate for about 2 years, and I was trying, and I said, ooh, and I said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And he was like, he said, I hope that you get to the place of knowing that every man that wants to be in your presence is not trying to have sex with you. And I said, I actually understand that, quite well. But the reality is, it ain't got nothing to do with me thinking you want to have sex with me. I don't want to get tempted and have sex with you. So sometimes as women, we have to take the accountability. And he wasn't nasty with it, but it was just like, I knew he liked me, but I knew he respected
Mm-hmm.
where I was.
I
But I'm
love when
like, baby,
truth
it ain't
enters the
even
chat,
you.
baby.
I
I
don't
love
trust
when
me.
truth enters
It
the
is.
chat. Cause baby,
What have
Allie,
you
you might have
done?
you might have understood that concept, baby. But it sounds to me like your body didn't really process the lesson, honey. I don't know.
No, it didn't. I'm like, baby, it's a me thing. I don't want to like listen. It's been a long time since I've had a penis pop, hard penis in the morning in my vicinity. That can't be around me because one, I recognize I am weak and I'm
Mm.
not strong, baby. Eric, and so I let him stay in my house, and it wasn't even for his sake, baby. I
Yeah.
locked my bedroom door and put a chair underneath the handle because I'm like, Alicia, if you go through all this for some penis, something wrong with you. Like that's the only thing because I'm like, I'm not going to do this. But it's like just recognizing,
I think there's
recognizing
so
where you
much
are.
power in that, Allie. There's so
Mm-hmm.
much power in getting to know yourself. It's so much power in self-awareness and being able to speak truth to yourself. Like you
Yeah.
said, you're weak, and that doesn't make you like a weak individual, but you know the areas that are
Yeah.
not the strongest. So now you can navigate life with a certain level of knowledge and not put yourself in certain circumstances to which you feel like you will fall. And maybe at a different point in life, in a different season, you could work around, to coming back to strengthening that particular part. But I'm gonna be honest, and like as I'm getting older and having more lived experiences, some of our weaknesses are never meant to be strengths. We're supposed to move with intention and with self-awareness enough that's going to align us with being who the hell we want to be in spite of our weaknesses and in congruence and alignment with our strengths.
Yes.
Because
And that's the
the
truth.
idea of like having no weaknesses would mean that you are perfect, and none of us are actually perfect. And I don't even know, like, I feel like we need to figure out another episode that we could come and speak to like self-awareness, because how different would the Sistas universe be if more of the women operated with a level of self-awareness, or even were on a road to discovering themselves and getting to know themselves in ways that they need to, so that they can make better decisions. I think that's a part that we don't necessarily talk about a lot, like the need to really get to know yourself. I think we assume that you've been with yourself your entire life, so you know yourself. No, it takes a lot of intentionality to develop self-awareness and to get to know yourself. And more often than not, people are out here more focused on getting to know somebody else, if you're really getting to know somebody, because typically that just means some type of romance and like punching on one another. But like more
Mm-hmm.
people are prioritizing to getting to know somebody else so that you can have a partner or whatever. But baby, you done already skipped over the first part, which is to get to know your damn self.
It is. And I think that's why it's so important. Even though we didn't see it, one of the reasons why I respect Aaron and Karen so much is because we know for at least 5.5 months, Karen was by herself. She
Yeah.
wasn't entertaining a man. She wasn't trying to be all up under or on top of a man. She was by herself. And I would like to think getting to know herself better, dealing with the clutterness of her mind and her heart. So when Aaron did come back with that ride or die energy, it could be welcomed with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just the beautifulness that we saw in season 8 when he brought her back from the hospital and Miss Lisa came and he was like, I'll always be there for you. I'll always be there for her. I'll always take care of her. Like, yes, nothing has changed. He is still Mr. Ride or Die.
Yeah.
Like, I got you. Always understand that. And I just love it that he never wavered in that. It's
Yeah.
like, and I love the fact that when Karen allowed that door to be open, baby, she kicked that mug down.
Yes.
Like, she kicked it down
Yes.
and allowed him to truly be his authentic self. And that's just his nature. That's who he is. And we were just able to see that in such a loving way. And so I'm glad we
Mm-hmm.
got an opportunity, you know,
To do
for
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I really just had to take a moment and highlight Aaron flipping the whole ride or die trope on its head and how revolutionary that is. Showing a black man giving what black women are expected to give is just that to me. It's revolutionary. It is profound. And I would love to see us normalize it. I would love to see more of it. It brings me to, I put up a bunch of videos over the weekend for Survival of the Thickest, which is a show on Netflix. And there's a male character on there whom I also feel like is like quietly very profound, because this black man is best friends with two black women. He is heterosexual. And the conversation right now is, oh, he must be bisexual or he must be queer. When his struggle throughout these 2 seasons that we have seen, season 1, he's a womanizer and he just gets sex and he gets bitches. He just does. And he Tone Bell, so he fine. And I get it. I get the allure. But in season 2, well, towards the end of season 1, going into season 2, he like fell for somebody he had never fallen in love before. That changes things for him. Now he's at a position where he needs something more. So we're watching him navigate, realizing that he's depressed, asking his homeboys about a therapist, getting said therapist, going to actual treatments for said therapy. And then the backdrop that is not made to be, oh, this is a thing, and oh, make sure you look and see, is that he is navigating his friendship and doing life alongside black women, black trans women, other queer folks, and he's not freaked out about it. He's not screaming pause every 2 seconds. They go to dinner at the drag bar. One of his best friends is a trans woman, and they go to well, not best friends, because his 2 best friends are the main character, but one of his good friends that he loves dearly, and he's like there to support, and like it is no sweat off his brow showing up for his trans friends as a heterosexual man. And I'm just watching it this season and I'm like, yo, he is so damn dope. This is normal for him. This is his normal. He ain't tripping. He ain't tripping at all. And then to go into my comment section and to say, well, some people calling him bisexual, I'm like, what? He gives nothing about him gives feminine energy to me. He gives masculine energy. He is an artist, a painter, but he gives masculine energy, and he gives I get bitches, honestly.
He does.
I said all of that to say, oh wait, you watch it?
I watch it and I loved it. I think one of the things that I was so impressed with this season is that his and even tying this back to Aaron, but this man was going through, what he was going through emotionally, and the fact that he had a threesome, a foursome, and he didn't even enjoy it. He did not even enjoy it. So that's when he knew, oh no. Because I think they did say he needed therapy before. I can't remember if it was before or after that situation. But that situation was like, yeah, I need to go talk to somebody like for real. Because how did I not enjoy this wonderful thing that don't happen to everybody? And to just see his journey in that, and sadly, we do live in a society that people would even claim or be in your comment section saying that, he is, he got to be bisexual or he got to be this. And, our own lived experiences. Like when I was in college, one of my good friends, his best friend that he's known since the 4th grade was a gay man. And we all became cool. And it was like people automatically, oh, is such and such gay? No, this is a straight man with a baby. He don't dip and dab, ain't no secret, nothing. Like that's his dude. That's his brother. And people could not fathom that. And I'm just thinking like how minute the mind the thinking is that you're not even willing to expand your mind to think that a straight man can have a gay best friend, a straight woman can have it doesn't matter. Like we're people. We all have different likes, desires, so on and so forth. But why would you question somebody's sexuality because they're friends with, and that, and as you say, you ain't got to say pause. You ain't got to do all that dumb mess. That's just stupid and idiotic to me. But tying it in
my
Aaron,
heterosexual man friends they be wearing me out with that pause, y'all. I'm gonna complain about it every chance I get because I stopped complaining to them.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like I promise you, this person wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying, if I ever went on a date with somebody, if they said pause, I would get up and leave.
Hello.
Like, to me, that's how dumb that is. Like, you're a grown-ass man. You can't, because to me, if you got to do all that, then I'm thinking maybe there is something about you that you ain't came to terms with yet. What you pausing for? Just talk. What are you doing? But
And
it's
y'all,
like,
it just reiterates this is the reason why we need the characters like Aaron, the characters like Khalil, because we need a reset and we need a renormalizing of what manhood is or could be.
we do, we do, we do, and stay away from people who don't honor that. Like even with the sisters, even like some of the things that they may say about Aaron, or even with Pam. Oh, I need to find me a little straight because you always come running. I'm sorry, you got an issue with your friend being loved correctly. Be mindful what people around you saying about your man or about the man that's showing interest, because what makes him a lost cause, a lost puppy, a stray? Oh, he thirsty because he wants to care for me.
Was
That
you
makes him that.
thirsty when you was allowing Trey to bend your ass over this damn desk at Karen's office while
Okay,
he was also still messing with other women that Karen had to roll up on him about? Oh,
okay,
okay.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right, then, cool. Hmm. Yes, but we have to
Sorry, I
normalize
had
it,
to
and
do
I
that to you,
think
Pam,
if
but
more people wrote it,
mm-hmm.
if more people wrote black men in that fashion, I believe it will be more socially acceptable. But because this has been going on for years, now we got to deal with the deprogramming
Mm-hmm.
of the minds.
Yeah.
That's gonna take some time. But I think if more people really did present that character in that way, and it don't always have to be with cheating. But let's just say you a married couple and the woman is the one that steps out. Show that man going through what he's going through, but is he willing to fight for his marriage? Is he willing to fight for his family? Is he willing to? And it may not matter why she did it, but is there a legitimate reason that caused her to step out on her husband? Like what was going on in your mind, sis?
Yeah.
Because normally when a woman, now don't get me wrong, we do have anomalies out there that can just cheat because they turned on. But normally when a woman has something good, we ain't finna mess it up by having no little, roll around in the bed with nobody.
Yeah.
Normally this man or whoever they cheat with has been able to go into a door that their husband or lover or partner has opened.
Child.
Because a lot of times, men, you've done something and you're not willing to admit it. I'm not saying the person is right for cheating, but we have to be willing to, deal with those things. But we just have to really normalize men loving women righteously, normalize men really showing compassion and grace and patience with women when they're not where they may desire them to be,
Mm-hmm.
showing that every relationship is not rooted and grounded in sex.
And shouldn't be,
That you do
honestly.
have men, right,
Sex
right,
should be the wonderful reward for a beautiful
yes,
life well carved together, if you ask me.
yeah.
It
Because if
should
you
not
give
be
a
the end
kid
all
a
be
brownie and
all.
ice cream before dinner, they don't want dinner.
Hello. All right. So I didn't got my off with the whole ride or die of it all. Um, do you want to jump into Aaron and Karen's communication style or that mastery of their
That and
communication?
how they express themselves. And I like that how they express needs without manipulation. Because let me tell you something.
Child.
One thing a woman can do is manipulate the hell out of a man
Damn,
if we
Allie,
choose to.
just slide us right up under
It's,
that bus.
baby, we under there. We under all them wheels. If we want to manipulate a man or anybody, a situation, we can do that. You have to make a conscious decision not to.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I love about their dynamic and how they're able to express their needs, I'm gonna use Karen with her desire or her need for sexual gratification. And she did it in a way that wasn't raunchy, that didn't depict her in a way, but it was so funny because she said, Aaron, how are we going to get to know each other if we can't get to know each other?
She so did.
So cute to me. That scene was so cute. I thought that part was so cute. I thought it was hilarious, but I understood because I'm with you. I like you. I care about you. I long for you, but I'm not able to have you in the way that I desire.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to know how we going to get to know each other if we can't get to know each other. And even in addition to that, before the whole thing with Zach and her in her office, she was literally telling Aaron like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna go talk to that first lady I met because somebody got to know how to maneuver through this." You know what I'm
Somebody got
saying?
the
And
answer,
even
cause I don't.
she said somebody got to know. That's what she said. Somebody got to know. And it was even though they was making light or making humor out of it, Karen was serious. 'Cause baby girl was about to
What?
break.
Yeah.
Wait, so we doing that?
And Aaron told her, like, let's go, how about we talk about that at dinner? And she was like, dang, I gotta meet the girls. But he understood. He understood and he knew. And that's why he was like, yeah. And I wondered what that conversation was gonna be about. Or going to be like, but we never had opportunity to hear it.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to hear it. But she never manipulated him to have sex. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, Erica, I don't know if I wouldn't have manipulated him. I would hope I wouldn't have, but I would be a liar if I said, "Oh, yeah, I know for sure." Yeah, I gotta be honest. I would be lying if I said, "Yeah, I know for sure." I wouldn't. I would have respected his boundaries. No, I don't. No.
I ain't gonna speak on, cause I couldn't tell you either. Honestly, the way Aaron be talking sometimes, child.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. No.
I would assume
No.
I would try to do the best I could.
Mm-hmm.
But I get like you, Ellie. I guess I can't make no promises either.
I can't make no promises.
And he didn't manipulate her. Like, to be a man who could fully see what he's dealing with in this woman from the jump and choose to not press certain buttons that really could be moments to like play on her insecurities, play on her lack of self-worth, play on guilt and shame that she shows, and choose not to do those things and to remain in a place of like affirmation, grace, and patience. Child, this is just the Aaron get his flowers video, I suppose. Because that is just the choices. The choices is hella sexy, honey. They just hella sexy. On top of you hella sexy. It's just too much sexy.
I mean, it's just sexy all the way around. Which goes to the next one, their ability to listen to each other. And that is so prevalent because a lot of times people could do a whole lot of talking and not enough listening.
Not hear a damn thing.
And not hear not a nothing. And with Karen and Aaron, to me, they have truly shown what it is to listen to what someone's saying, and not only to listen but to comprehend what they are telling you and then move accordingly. And there are so many examples of that. I think that I'm gonna use the letter situation when I think there was no type of like I'm interrupting. You're hearing everything I'm saying, how I feel about Zach and how I feel about you. The ability to listen, to hear all of that, and for Erin to show up the next day at her house cooking her pasta, going to the store, getting her food and stuff like that. The ability to listen. I heard what you said, and I'm still here. It doesn't change anything. You may not be where I want you to be, and going back to not manipulating the situation. Because he could have said, "Oh yeah, okay, boom, she did admit she loved me. Let me harp on it." Nah.
If you love me, because baby.
Okay.
I know some of y'all that heard that before. If you love me, that is manipulation, boo.
Yes, it is.
Textbook, if
yes,
you ask
it
me.
is.
But okay. Go ahead, Ellie. Sorry.
And that just popped up. Even going, no, you good. Because even with that situation where, she was like, my mama sent me this thing about checking somebody's phone if and he was like, oh, this right here. I'm listening to you. I'll even find the write up. Oh, this the article? Oh, well, somebody would have to let you get their phone. Yes. Your phone, Aaron. And he gave it to her and gave her, the code. But it's like, I'm listening to everything that you're saying. I'm listening, I'm comprehending, and I'm moving as such.
Yep.
You know, like, she want to go through my, I'm gonna let her do it. You know, those type of things, and I just appreciate them in the moments of, you have to be an active listener to understand that I hear what she's saying to me. I'm listening to what she's saying to me, and I'm still not going to let that hinder me from moving how I know to move.
Yeah.
And I mean, this makes me feel so good just talking about them, because it's just so beautiful. Like, it's
It
just
is.
so beautiful.
It is. And it winds up serving them when they get into moments, the brief moments that they do have that would be conflict. They communicate themselves well out of conflict.
They do, because babe to the bed. And it hasn't really been like, I was trying to think of a time where there has been like yelling, and I don't recall a moment where it's been like that, you know, fierce between them. The only thing that comes to mind was the whole, you know, Curly Sue situation. And Karen was just like, you know, we'll talk about it when I'm ready to talk about it.
Yep.
I ain't gonna let you stress me out. But there wasn't it wasn't yelling, it wasn't, you know, calling him by his name or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like that with them.
And honestly,
When they
we have
have
seen Aaron is capable of it, because he yelled at Jennifer's ass. He yelled at Fawn. It's a conscious choice, the way that he communicates with Karen.
It is.
Child.
It is. Now he'll get with her, but he don't get with her like he can get
At
with
all. At all. Even when he checked her back about Zach, oh God, in the trenches, honey. In the trenches of Aaron's character, very early on, when he started giving her the language that she was using as Zach back at her, I was just like, oh my God, sir. But he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't.
And even in that, he wasn't yelling. Oh, you don't like that, do you? Oh, okay. Didn't think you would. Aaron, please.
Yeah. And then they come back and apologize. When he came to her shop, he was like, you know, I apologize. You know, I don't know the situation between you and him. So you could have been acting accordingly. I don't know. Because I don't know what the situation was. So I apologize. And that was the first time, I believe, it was still in season 1, but the first time we ever heard Karen apologize to anybody. She was like, I want to apologize to you. Some people say I need to watch my tone.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I knew, I'm like, oh, she really like him. And he was like, I don't know why. He was like, he said something like, why you acting like that? You know you like me. And she was like, I don't like your arrogant ass. I said, oh yeah, baby, you do like him.
Oh yeah, baby. Real bad.
You like him bad, sis. You like him bad, sis.
Very bad.
You
Tracy
do.
B says we need the writers to not mess up the momentum going into season 9 with Karen and Aaron. Yes. Facts. All right, child. Let's go ahead and breeze through the other ones. We're talking about boundaries and respect and supporting each other's growth.
Yes. So Aaron respecting Karen's space when needed.
I didn't like it in the moment, but I'm also, and Allie and I have said this numerous times, like we have, you know, shown that we're at two different spectrums. Allie don't want your ass popping up on her, don't surprise her, don't none of those things. My toxic ass is just like, do I know it's real? If you ain't willing to go scorch earth, I don't know. But I do respect it. Like, in hindsight, I respect him having the discipline to be able to step back and to honor her boundaries. But also part of it is like, I think I struggle with the setting up of those boundaries because Karen was so damn wishy-washy that I didn't even believe the boundaries when she set them. I was just like, girl, why? This don't even feel like it's actually healthy for you. You're going to alienate the one healthy person in your life that's actually rooting for you because Andy's ass then forgot about you. Danny's ass is plotting on you. And Sabrina don't know which side she want to be on depending on what the hell day it is. And Pam following right behind Sabrina's ass if you ask me. And you want to tell this nigga to hit the road, take a hike. So it's less about, I wanted him to dishonor her boundaries. I just felt like she was making stupid ass decisions for herself, and we needed Aaron in our corner. But in hindsight, I do respect it because I think that was a pivotal part of the growth that we get to see or not see, because a lot of this happened off screen. But a Karen character, and like being left alone, being left with her thoughts, being left with her decisions, forces you to figure out, okay, is this what I want? Is this what I thought it was going to be? Is this what I thought it was going to feel like? How do I feel? Okay, no, I don't like this. Okay, so now it's time to make another choice.
Yeah. I think that like you said, sometimes I was like, you want to break from him for what now? You know, like I had a lot of those moments, and I'm like, okay, are you doing this because you don't want to hurt him? You don't want to feel like you're using him? Like, really, what is it? So many times I felt like Karen was pushing him away because it's like I still have hope in the possibility of reuniting with Zach, and if I let you get too close, I'm gonna close that door, and I ain't ready to do that yet. So a lot of that, I was just like you said, like, girl, this don't make not a bit of sense. I don't even understand what you're doing right now, you know. But you know, we had to watch homegirl, you know, go through her journey, you know, go through her process. And I think that goes to the next one with Karen's growth in setting boundaries with others, which I thought was good. And we have Lisa and Zach, and I really wish her boundaries with Miss Lisa would have came earlier, but we really didn't see her really, you know, say something to Miss Lisa until, you know, season 8. Like, hey, mom, we weren't doing nothing. Like, you need to calm down, chill out. This is where we are. And, like, you're not going to talk me out of this. And I had such, like, when I went back and watched the scene, I had such strong emotions because, in a sense, I felt like, Miss Lisa, you have stated that you like Aaron. You think he's a good guy. But whenever he gets close to Karen, or it feels like Karen is letting her guard down with him, you try to, it's almost manipulative in a way. And I think that's what was pissing me off with Miss Lisa.
While also
like
having a full court view of Karen's past transgressions with another relationship. Like, girl, how can you be her mother and actually claim to want the best for her when you keep the door cracked for Zachary Taylor to prance around doing Zachary Taylor but then Aaron Carter can't be in the bed? Ma'am. Miss Lisa lost me last season. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm done with her.
She did. I was done, you know. Can I talk to my daughter? And I don't need to have naked preacher in the room. I said, oh, trick.
Well, we can also get rid of the bald-headed biker chick who having a midlife crisis. Let's get that out the room as well. If we want to talk about something. Shit.
Who loves sleeping with young men.
Hello? The call's for you, Lisa. Pick up the phone.
It's ringing, sis. And then her boundaries with Zach, which I think was much needed. And you know, it's so interesting because people, I ain't gonna bring this up, that's a whole nother conversation. But her boundaries with Zach, and just and even with the boundaries, it's the tone that she uses when she speaks to him. Not disrespectful and not nasty, but there is no type of hint of nothing, you know, in the way that she communicates with him now. And I'm so grateful, you know, that she's in that place. So it's letting it be known that, hey, this is where I am. This is what it is. Even when she went into false labor and took her to the hospital, like, it was very like, no, this is not my partner. This is his partner. You know, and it wasn't in a rude way, but no, he's engaged to Miss Taylor over here. That always cracked me up. But I'm so glad we're in this place that, yes, boundaries are placed. But, you know, Zach, he gon' jump over them damn boundaries. I already know that. I already know that, but I'm glad at least she got them.
Period. And heck, maybe the setting them with Aaron and watching them be respected was the thing that she needed to be able to set them with others and stand on them.
Yeah.
All right, child. We didn't talk about them supporting each other's growth, so I feel like we don't need to go into that. And also the navigating challenges. I think we did that as well.
We did.
Y'all, we wanted to include, because we messy, or at least I'm messy. We wanted to include in this ranking of the couples. So we already know that Aaron and Karen's asses sit at the top. the very top of the heat. They are the standard. But then where does the rest of the couples fall? And we ain't ranking them in reference to health, because none of their asses is healthy. All of their asses is toxic. Yes, we said it. Don't give a damn how you feel about it. They toxic. But in reference to maybe interest, power, or how the women are as people as a result, in spite of the relationships that they're in, I don't know, Allie. What you thinking?
We doing second place couple? Or we just talking about that, like with the we doing second place couple? Did we agree on who we thought, or we just gonna throw out some random
I
people?
guess. Okay, y'all. The metrics that we use is communication quality, mutual respect, growth potential, conflict resolution, and not overall health, because none of the asses is healthy.
Yeah, nothing healthy. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna tell y'all what I put in my head. So second place couple I gave to Andy and Jordan. And the reason why I gave Andy and Jordan is because I felt like, I mean, what the hell was it? In the sense of there was not a lot of, don't lie. In the beginning, I was here for Andy and Jordan. I actually liked them together. I felt that this was someone who was different for Andy. He was not, controlling like Gary. It was not just a passing thing like with Robin, but this was actually somebody that I could really see Andy, like, as far as in their professional lives, they were kind of like, okay, boom, they're on the same trajectory of elevation. And he didn't come with a lot of drama. He seemed to be, truly into her, minus the sex, but they messed it up by having them bone every episode like they did Zach and Fatima. But when they got bad, it got girl, okay. But when it got bad, it got bad. But I actually did enjoy them for a bit, and
wouldn't say I enjoyed them, but I will say that they second place couple because there really wasn't good or bad. They just kind of were there and hunching on one another. I don't feel like they got to know one another, but I also don't think that Andy spiraled to a place where she was a worser person with him.
Correct.
We have seen Andy go to certain lows with other people, depending on, whatever the circumstances are. So I would agree with that.
Yeah. Third place. Third place.
This is where we were struggling, I think, because this.
Okay, I think okay.
This is Danny, but we can't figure out which Danny relationship.
That's what. Oh yeah, we had some good points for this.
And not because I think that Danny should be with Preston. I would rank her relationship with Preston higher, but in thinking about her as a person, in that relationship, her relationship with Preston, he wasn't pushing her to be better. So there wasn't this dialogue around, you want to change me. For all intents and purposes, she would have actually been the aggressor in that, in trying to change Preston. She was allowed to just be in that relationship. To me, she was kind of toxic towards him. And then, of course, him coming with the ultimatum later was toxic as well. But I don't know. I don't know if I would put that above her and Tony, even though I guess I kind of want to, because her and Tony, while they had great sexual chemistry, it felt very volatile whenever it was approaching a personal level, because she was so against anything that he had to say about her as a person and the progress of her and her personhood.
Yeah.
She really painted him out to be this really bad villain, like almost more so than what she did with Preston behind his whiteness.
That is true. And this was so interesting because this is where Erica and I was like, this is gonna be a good discussion with these two relationships, because it's very challenging, because it's like Erica stated, in the relationship with Preston, Danny was just able to be herself. Preston wasn't pushing her to be greater than what she was. She was able to give him the bare minimum, and he was okay with that. You know, there are some things I'm working on, and never stated what those things were. It was what it was. She was able to clown him about his upbringing, the way that he talked, him working on a farm, him loving bluegrass music, him and his cows, and she was making all of these little snide remarks, about who he was as a person, and he just took it. That's not to say that Preston didn't do some grimy stuff entering in this woman's home simply because you're white and the landlord probably likes you or thinks you're a cool person, but you're still breaking into this. You're in her home without her permission. He was doing. He was ghosting her, not showing up, not communicating, and then she gets with someone like Tony, who is, hey, suggesting, hey, you might want to see somebody, you may want to talk to somebody, but she was so adamant to reject anything that Tony had to say to better her as an individual, to better her as a person. So it's like, how do you measure that to say which relationship, was better? I don't really know. I mean, she did go to therapy, but they made a joke out of that for the majority of the time. So it's like, I don't really know which one was the better relationship. I know who I felt was the better man, but that doesn't mean that that was the best, the better relationship. So
Exactly. So if
difficult.
y'all had to put a Danny relationship at spot number 3, who would you put? And while y'all tell us in the
Yes.
chat, we're gonna go on to spot number 4. Which was even harder,
Ooh.
honestly.
Yeah, yeah, that was that one was
Because as far as we concerned, everybody else takes a deep dive into the bottom of the damn barrel in the cesspool that is toxic love. And yes, y'all's favorite Zatima is right there, right along with everybody
right
else.
there.
Rich and Sabrina are right there next to Zach and Fatima. Because Fatima has to give up all her hopes and her dreams. She has to no longer go to art gallery. She has to no longer read anything about philosophy. She cannot have not a damn bit of intellectual conversation, and damn sure don't got time to study because she's too busy bringing home the bacon and failing law school to maintain this relationship with this damn child, while he's also bringing home children. I would hate that relationship for you. I would never wish that relationship on you in a million damn years. So I can't even put Zach and Fatima at 4. Fatima's all her life she has to fight in that relationship. She's a slave in that relationship.
Ooh.
I can't.
Ooh. Girl, the moment you said she's a slave in that relationship, I said I just saw her walking out the door to go to her job while he stays at home like master. Now you going out there to the field and pick that cotton. Master gonna be in the big house enjoying the AC, sweet tea, and Zaccos that he making.
And
That's
Zaccos.
exact,
Let's not forget the goddamn
baby.
Zaccos.
She truly has become a slave in this relationship. That's crazy. She has no voice anymore. Like, she has no voice. She just accepts whatever Zach brings into the household, brings into their equation. It just is what it is. It's interesting. It's interesting.
And Sabrina
And
suffered under the
Jesus.
thumb of that weak ass man that she called her man. No self esteem, having narcissistic juice bar running baldy.
This was not on here, but I'm curious. Who do you think is a worse individual or partner, Zach or Rich?
Oh. Damn it, Allie. Uh I want to keep my foot on Zach's neck at all times.
I know.
But Rich.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Rich is worse.
Rich is worse. I knew something was happening. I did a video and I was like, literally, I said, y'all know this is gonna mean a lot. despise Rich more than I despise Zach, and that's a lot
Same.
to say. Rich is the person that I dislike him more than I dislike Zach, and I think it's like way more.
Well, see, I don't know if I hate Zach for real. I'm very disappointed in Zach, and I feel like that's worse. Cause for me, if I hate you, then you no longer exist. But
Yeah,
if I'm disappointed in you, I will forever look at you with shame.
yeah. I don't
But
I
Rich,
don't
I never
hate Zach. I
expected
don't like.
anything, I don't think. So I'm just kind of like, bye, ho. Like,
Yeah.
I would swing on Rich. Like, I couldn't be Sabrina friend. This is why I also had to be very particular with who I'm friends with. And I learned that in college and in my 20s. Because I ride for my friends. And Rich would have been one of the niggas that I tried to swing on. And yes, I've done it
Feel you.
before.
I feel you. It's like one of them things where it's like you looking at your friend, you like this dude here? Like this the one you letting talk to you like this the one you letting play you like this dude, like
Child.
I just, and it's like you said, it's kind of like, you had a certain expectation of Zach, so I could be disappointed. And now I am disappointed how the writers have allowed his character to be like a joke
Mm-hmm.
over there. I don't know what the hell they got going on with that. But with Rich, it's like you didn't really bring much in to begin with, and the fact that you have been able to run amok in this woman's life the way that you have is beyond
Yeah.
wild work. Because you didn't do anything to deserve it. Like that.
Yep.
That's wild to me.
Facts.
That is wild.
Okay, that's our messy portion, y'all. We always gotta throw a
The
little
messy
something in there.
portion.
Hey Noel, I'm with you. You also agree, Rich, and you said that you never thought that you would see the day where you had to rank Zach above someone. That's what I'm saying. Allie put us in a very bad conundrum, but we gonna keep it real. We gonna
Yeah,
keep
I
it
had
real.
to. Yeah,
That's how you know
I
we not
had
really
to.
biased for real. Y'all want us to be biased so bad. Y'all want us to, oh, we
So
hate Zach
bad.
so bad, but I'm always keep it honest. Rich is the bottom,
Yeah.
bottom, bottom of the barrel, and Zach is sitting on his shoulders. Moving on.
That's it. The shoulders, but it's true.
Let's look into the future, Allie. What do you think that co-parenting journey is going to look like for Aaron and Karen as we see at the end of season 8? She's going into labor at the duplex, but going into labor nonetheless. So those babies are not far from being here, present, and waiting to be taken care of and cared for and doted on so lovingly and consistently. What are you looking forward to in reference to their potential co-parenting journey?
With Aaron and Karen, oh my God. I literally can see like Aaron just trying to do everything. Like I can literally see him having both babies in his arms at the same time. Like I just see him trying to take as much weight off of Karen's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just see him being like so committed to that and making sure that she has everything that she needs, that the babies have everything that they need, Zach. But when it comes to Karen and Aaron, I don't know. I'm looking forward to see them being a family.
Yeah.
Like I really am seeing that, and I'm so happy for Aaron because he gets to, I know that the children were young when he married Fawn, but like to truly care for his child, his biological child, and also Zach's child, which I'm sure in his ain't gonna be no different. Like
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
are my babies. Because he's been saying it. Like I'm saying, I will
Mm-hmm.
take care of both of our children. I'm gonna be there for both of the kids. Like he has already taken personal ownership. So oh my God, I'm looking forward to it. Praying these writers don't piss me off or disappoint me. But knowing Aaron's nature, he is going to be an amazing co-parent and partner
Yeah.
to Karen. So
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
really, really looking forward to it. And, to your point, there are going to be some challenges that arise when it comes to Zach's involvement. One of the first ones I could possibly see, depending on how deep Tyler or these writers want to jump into their bag, it would be the paternity test. I could see Aaron taking a stand of we don't need one. while Zach
Yeah.
wants one. That would be a great way to start off, and given like a different level of conflict that's not the same old like, oh, I'm better than you, you're better than me, whatever. But to the co-parenting journey, I totally see Aaron stepping in a way to not only cover Karen and the babies, but to be the foundation that they deserve. I think he's going to take protect and provide to a whole nother level, and I cannot wait to watch it play out. Like, this is honestly part of like Aaron's dreams, and while it's not happening in the order in which he might have wanted it to, I think that he has foreseen this since very early on in meeting Karen and falling for Karen. um so to watch a man who with a plan, because I do believe that whether he communicated to her or not, this is all a part of his plan, and he's very intentional and ambitious with his intentions. I think it's going to make for like a really great story, as long as, like I said, the writers want to write and they want to get in their bag.
Yes, me too. So happy. I'm so ready to see it.
How do you think that
Now,
communication will serve them as parents? Because it gets a little bit rocky. I mean, we don't know firsthand, but we hear postpartum as hell, and things get real. Do you think that communication and the communication style they have cultivated is going to stand up in the first year of the twins'
I
life?
think it is. I think it is. I think that I believe that we are going to see moments where Karen might have a breakdown, where Karen might, it may be too much, because it's a lot. You got two kids at any given moment, one trying to suck from you, one you got to change the diaper, one trying. So I think we may see a breakdown with her, but I think even in that moment, we are going to see Aaron rise to the occasion. Because it's not like he can go to Andy, Danny, or Sabrina. Hey, Karen is going through. I don't see him going to them for that. Because I believe he is the best person to provide what she needs
And
in
I
those
think that he
times.
see them hoes for what they are.
I believe so too. I believe so too. And I think he tries to walk that line very, very, very,
Mm-hmm.
easy without not calling them out, because he knows that Karen loves her friends.
Yep.
So, he just don't say certain things, try to keep the peace. But I'm expecting their communication as parents to be, what it has been for them, them communicating. I think it's going to require a lot, because they also have a child in their household that is biologically Zach's.
Yeah.
So I believe that in itself is going to render much conversation,
Which is
to be had.
what makes me think that I think that we're gonna watch that communication style grow. Like, they already communicate so well, so it's hard to believe like there's anywhere else to go. But I feel like with that added element, they are going to be forced to over communicate in certain ways, and it's gonna create even better pathways for that communication. There are going to be missteps. There is going to be conflict. There, I do believe, like you said, there's going to be a breakdown on Karen's part, maybe once, twice, three times, and Aaron is going to adjust, which he has proven to know how to do. Um, and I think that they're going to grow within their communication for sure.
Me too.
Um,
I'm looking forward to it.
do you foresee any parenting disagreements? Y'all can't hear me? Hold on. Y'all can hear me?
Okay.
Let me check.
Let us know if y'all can hear Erica. Question.
Okay, I can hear me. Y'all can't hear me? Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test.
Oh, okay, she's out here. You good? Okay.
Okay, I think we good.
Mm.
Um, do you foresee any parenting disagreements coming up?
You know, this is just my hope. I do
You hope
when it
they
comes
do?
to no. I'm saying, but because I hope this is where it goes, like with Miss Lisa, because I could
Oh, okay,
potentially
okay.
see Miss Lisa overstepping,
Ah.
maybe with something,
Yeah,
and
she doesn't
Aaron
need you,
has to let her
Aaron. I
know.
got her.
Yeah, yeah,
Man.
and
Huh.
Aaron has
Bump
to
Miss
let
Lisa
her
on
know,
her damn
like,
forehead.
and then Karen may get upset, like, hey, that's my mama, blah blah. Like, I respect the fact that's your mama, but that's my child,
Oh,
or or those
those
are
are
my
my
children.
children.
Like, I could see him doing that because we have not seen Aaron, even though he is a father. We have not seen him function in that position
Mm-hmm.
now, or that role. Now we're gonna see that,
Yep.
and I don't think Miss Lisa wanna, she back wanna tread lightly with that one.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, like, usually disagreements come up when the mindsets are different or when you're not aligned in lifestyle. But Aaron and Karen, well, Karen has come quite a long way. And Aaron has known that she had it in her in reference to like walking a certain way within her life. And she finally arrived at that place. So they feel very aligned in certain ways. Like, if there are any disagreements, it might be like little trivial ones of like private school versus public school or, veganism or like that kind of stuff, which also doesn't feel too heavy because we haven't seen, Aaron hasn't declared I'm vegan or something like that, and Karen is not.
Right.
um she was 100% willing to try abstinence and like, oh, I need to talk to a first lady so I can get better understanding. So I doubt that she's going to have a problem with him wanting to have the children in church. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Right.
foresee there being too much misalignment in the life that they want to create for their kids. If anything, I think the disagreements, like you said, could come up when it comes to Miss Lisa and her involvement, and then managing Zach's involvement.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, but I don't foresee any major disagreements or yeah, in how they raise their children. I don't think. I mean, Aaron's pretty much open. Like, we kind of know the most important things, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't foresee that happening.
And honestly, the season that we were watching, Karen walk into with this man, it also feels like she's also ready to like hand over the keys and like let him lead. So I think we're going to see
Yeah,
that when it comes to
I'm
parenting the
ready.
twins.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I am.
um, how do you think that their relationship is going to evolve now that Karen is submitted to her feelings that she's always had for this man and is allowing herself to be in this relationship with him?
I believe marriage is on the horizon. I
Mm.
don't, I believe marriage is on the horizon because I mean, y'all got the kids, and that's not to say, oh, y'all got kids, might as well. You have you have the children. You know this is the man who you want to be with. You've done the work to
Yeah.
get to the place of fully embracing everything that he brings to the table and encompassing and basking in the love that he's always wanted to give you.
Yeah.
And I feel that marriage is next. I would love to see them. I don't want them to do a sequel to Zach and Fatima. I don't want them, like, I do want them to move in together, but I would love to see them, like, oh, he's staying with her or she's staying with him, and when she come out the hospital, but making plans to actually get married, like get
Mm-hmm.
engaged and actively making preparations for marriage, because we see a couple who's engaged but ain't no preparation
Child.
to actually doing anything.
How do we?
But I do want to see that for them.
I love that, and I could totally see that. How do you feel parenthood is going to impact that evolution? Do you think that it could strain their relationship or their bond, or do you think that it's going to be one of the things that really helps strengthen their connection?
I think it's going to help strengthen because, I believe that Karen is in a place, and also Aaron, that they have no choice but to depend on each
Mm,
other. Like that dependability that, and and I believe Karen has already looked at Aaron as someone who is dependable. If
yeah.
he say, I'm going to come to the shop, I'm going to do this. Because even that one episode where she came from the doctor and she asked Pam, she was like, oh, is Aaron here yet? And Pam was like, "Oh, is he coming?" Well, he said he was gonna, come by when I left the doctor. Like she was already anticipating, his arrival because that's what he said, and she know his word is true. And so I could see that strengthening them, where she definitely becomes dependent upon his presence, and I think that's different. We haven't seen that.
Yeah, we haven't. I
Like we
agree.
haven't seen that, so I look forward to it.
Me too.
Forward to it.
What are the new challenges that you think that they're gonna face going into the future phase of their lives?
Um, I'm interested to see how this 6 weeks gonna go when they can't do nothing. I mean,
I feel
stuff
like
can be done.
she gonna have to do like 8 weeks or 10 weeks, Ellie.
Cause she had twins. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
They
what
gonna
I'm
wreak havoc
saying?
on that little ass body
I'm
of hers.
curious to see. I'm curious to see how that is going to go.
Okay.
How Karen is gonna feel about her body after she has, even though we know Karen is sweet petite, but like how she gonna feel about
Mm.
herself after she gives birth, and how is he gonna be reassuring, and those type of things. But I am
Ooh,
interested
will
how
one
this
want
6 weeks
more
gonna
kids and
go.
the other don't?
Yeah,
I wonder if this Karen is gonna be two and done because it's the one and done
yeah.
situation, and
Since
Aaron
she
still
had
want
that.
more. I can
Hmm.
see that being a
or
challenge.
even or even her even maybe wanting more children, because I did. And then sometimes too, when you get married or you with that man, it's like, damn, I just want to give you another one. Kind of,
Hmm.
kind of situation. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see.
I'm trying to think of if there's any other challenges I can foresee.
Um,
I don't know if Tyler's gonna spin the block on Jennifer. I hope not.
yeah, I don't.
I'm
I
good with
doubt
the
so.
open ended. I don't know what the hell happened there. It was a blip on the radar. But that could be a
Yeah.
challenge of her representing herself. Depending on if we get any kind of time jumps or anything, I could totally see Fawn's family coming back and demanding of Aaron, and that creating some kind of challenges within his
That could be.
new
Yeah.
family situation.
Yeah. Or even his family. Like he said, his parents are cool, but we don't
Mm,
know what that really means.
Lord knows there's a world of challenges that come with just, getting married, getting together and combining families and like mixing people. That's a challenge in and
Hmm.
of itself because you just never know. You never know. So that is so real. Miss Lisa might not vibe with Aaron Mama. And Aaron Mama might call it like she damn see it and get Miss Lisa together.
Yeah.
I'm here for
Yeah. Me too.
it.
Me too. Hmm.
How do you think they're going to grow individually and as a couple as we go into season 9 and beyond?
You know what? I had a dream years ago. This is before Karen was pregnant. This ain't got nothing to do with the reality of what could happen.
Mm.
But it was a short, like, I'm gonna say vision. I don't know. It was a dream, but it was so short. Karen and Aaron had a baby, so it wasn't twins, but they had a baby, and they were coming out of a store or some sort, and she saw Andy, and Andy was like, "Karen, hey, like I haven't seen you in a long time. Like, how are you?" And she was like, "We're
Mm.
good, we're good."
I love
And
that.
they kind of went their own way. I think by Karen becoming a mother, she's going to grow. I believe there's going to be more distance with the sisters than closeness,
Mm.
because it's different. She got 2 kids. That's going to change the dynamic regardless.
Yeah.
I don't care how close you try to be, baby. You got 2 kids, things are going to change.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be some distance, and I'm actually here for it.
I love that too, actually. I love
I'm here for it.
I
I
think that
really am.
she's gonna grow in independence of her friends, but like grow into like more codependence, healthy codependence within the family unit that she's
Hmm.
building. And I think that Aaron is gonna grow into who he knows himself to be. He just wasn't able to be in this relationship, so he now gets to fully show up as him. He's always been him,
Yeah.
but Karen was kind of she had the reins,
Yeah.
and she was only letting a little bit through. Now the floodgates get to open, and she gets to see what it really
Yeah.
is to be with. Amen. Love that.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. All right, y'all. I think this is good, Ellie. I think we can stop here.
Yeah.
um yeah, I think we touched on a lot, and I really
All
did
right.
enjoy this conversation. Like I said, I could talk about them for forever because they are just so great. They are quite literally two pieces that makes this entire series or the entire universe worth what it's worth. I'm still
Mhm.
standing on the fact that the show is Karen and Karen is the show. But any last words that you want to add about our favorite couple, Allie?
Just, as I said, I have personally been waiting since season one, episode two, for Karen and Aaron to officially, truly get together. I have always known this was going to be the man that she was going to be with, and I'm just happy that we're here. I'm happy to see this character be loved in such a pure way and in a way that she's never experienced love before, and her being in a position to reciprocate that to Aaron. And
Mm-hmm.
they have been my favorite. They will always be my favorite. Like Erica, I believe that Karen is the show, and that's no disrespect to any of the other talent that is represented on the show. To me, she just had the more realistic storyline, and the way she's been able to, the way Ebony has been able to perform
Child.
the task given to her, whether she made you dislike her, like her, love her, understand her, see yourself in that position, regardless of what it is. She has touched on so many emotions with so
Mm-hmm.
many people, and to see like this phoenix rise from the ashes now, it's been a journey, and I'm
Yes.
so grateful that we're here, and I'm just excited for season 9.
Me too. I'm just so excited for her walking into her My Little Family era and us getting
Yeah.
to discover more about her, or even just get the validation of her walking into who we know she could be if given the proper partner to love her appropriately, if given the doting children, if giving a support system that she's basically had to rebuild with a certain set of standards and boundaries that actually supports her. um Watching Karen walk into motherhood, and then this relationship is just like feeling like you can finally exhale, and you've been holding your breath this entire time for this particular character to be given everything that she needs to fully succeed in life. And I'm excited to see it.
That was beautiful.
Oh, that just I
I
don't know
am
where the hell
too,
it came from, but
I am, but and I mean it, and I'm not trying to prolong it, but I just, because we have been on this journey for 5 years
mm-hmm.
with these characters, and for you and I to have been on the side of the fandom that we've been on, you get ridiculed. People come in and comment saying all kind of crazy, crazy irrational things,
Yeah.
and the fact that we have been steady. I mean, you ain't nobody finna change my mind. I don't care what their opinion is. Um, but to see this character who has been through pure hell,
Mm-hmm.
who has been through more than anybody else on this show, really get
Times
her
two.
just due. Oh man, like it feels like it's poetic justice. Like
Mm-hmm.
it truly is, and I'm excited for her. And she's all. And I remember before I really started reviewing the show, I did something called Sister Talk, and I put it on Spotify. And I remember saying that if anybody was gonna have a child on this show, and this was like in season one, I think, or
Mm-hmm.
season one or early season two, I was doing this. And I was like, if anybody is gonna be a mom on this show, I said the only person I could see being that is Karen,
Mm.
because I believe like naturally she is a nurturer. I see the way she's with her friends, and she's the only one that I'm like, yeah, she
Yep.
would be an amazing mom.
Yeah.
Like I just have always, I'm just excited that she's walking into this. They chose her character for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yep.
glad about that. Now all this other stuff, okay, but I'm glad they chose her for it, and we get to see a different side of this character.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we hope you all enjoyed the conversation tonight the same way that you are enjoying seemingly thus far every Wednesday when we come with a new Our Sisters Keeper episode. We haven't gotten a trailer yet, and we're not anticipating one for season 9, probably until May or late May, early June, because they're floating the idea of season 9 coming back in July. Sorry. And they just wrapped season 9 filming last week, so they're on a really tight schedule. They're trying to turn the show around, but we're going to be here every Wednesday regardless, having these deep dive conversations, further exploring the Sistas universe and all of the characters in it. This week, again, we just broke down Aaron and Karen, and them building the future together. Last week, we got into all of the men in their business, which is still one of my favorite episodes, Sha. Keep it locked. If you haven't subscribed and you're catching this on replay or it just came across your page and you stay here for the whole conversation, subscribe. Check Allie out at Allie Nick Official. She also has a channel breaking down Sistas as well as other series as well. And you can also follow Our Sisters Keeper on all of your favorite social media platforms. It's your good sis, you let her talk TV with, and
Your Allie Nick, giving it to you when I give it to you, but always in the nick of time.
with that, y'all, we out. Good night.
Good night, y'all.